I do sometimes, honestly. But what kills me about Facebook is what I don't like about it is I'm looking at my phone. I can't pull it on my computer. That's why I like this. That's the
Hi everyone.
YouTube too.
And this looks.
Hello.
This is just going to be 2 hours of Chris saying hi.
Hi. Welcome. Hello.
Welcome to the show.
And I'm the narrator off screen.
Hi.
Is the mic still muted?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hi. Hello.
It's crazy.
I'll be quiet now. I'll just take a nap for a while.
Hello.
Buenos dias.
This is Real Dumb Debates. We're real dumb.
Episode 31.
Episode 31.
Jeez.
The big 31st anniversary edition.
The first 31 people to like and subscribe to our channel and this video and share and hit the little bell button get props. Not like movie props, but like mad props, yo.
You get a million bounty points to share amongst yourselves.
They
Also,
can win a date with me. I'm not.
I'll
gonna
find
show
your
my face
address
on
and
camera.
shake your hand.
Why are you going to find them address? Oh, that's not what you said.
That's God.
I mean, they might like a dress. That'd be nice.
Yeah, today we're doing some movie stuff.
No, we're not.
Wait, yeah, today we're
Restart the video. It's ruined.
We gotta redo.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We're doing video games.
Game over. Continue.
Game over.
We have our lovely judge over here, Dylan. I can't really see the screen to know if he's on screen.
I'm not. Not really.
Okay.
You can pop in and out at leisure.
He's there though.
Yeah, just break the fourth wall every once in a while.
I guess we'll quickly introduce ourselves. My name is Chris. Hi. If you watched our stuff, you know me.
I'm Kyle. Same.
And I'm Brian, same.
Hi.
Just a few regulars kicking it.
Brian does a podcast.
Yeah. So if you're listening out there, I do a podcast called The Snappy Hour. If you're lazy, just get on Facebook, type in The Snappy Hour, and find it. And if you're not lazy, then get on a podcast app and maybe listen to a few episodes that way. But we stream live on Facebook, and it's also on all the podcast apps. So The Snappy Hour, check it out.
Well, that's it, guys. We'll see you later. We just made a commercial for Brian's podcast.
I drink wine all the time, but enjoy long walks on the beach.
I also do a podcast with my roommates. You can get us on Spotify and VoxBox, and just search Dank House Podcasts, and you can find us. We do bi-weekly updates, so you can check that out too.
What's the podcast called?
Dank House Podcast.
Dank House. I like it.
Nice. What do you got? What's your all's subject matter? Now I'm interested. I didn't know that you did that, man.
We just cover a bunch of random stuff. We just like find something like a movie or a video game or something, then we like watch it, play it, then we like talk about it on the podcast.
How many of you are on there?
Like 3 to 4 normally.
Got you.
Yeah.
Good stuff. We'll have to cross over sometime. That's awesome.
Yeah.
For plugging stuff, I got a mixtape about to hit the streets. But y'all don't need to know about that yet.
Fire.
It's dropping though.
Woo!
That's it, guys. We'll see you later.
Can we just start a channel where we just plug stuff?
Did we just?
We'll make real dumb wish ads.
I'd be the worst of the plugging channel though, because I'd be like, I don't do anything, so mine would
Now you
literally.
plug Bodabox all the time.
I was gonna say, well, I could do that, but mine would literally, other than Bodabox, just be like me physically like plugging stuff with things, like a cork and a wine. This is me plugging this wine bottle.
We could reenact the last scene of Lost.
I don't know what that was, because
They plug the earth.
Technically, the last scene is Jack laying back as he watches the plane take off. As he
Yeah,
dies.
the penultimate
Spoilers, guys.
God, I've never seen Lost.
I don't give a fuck. That show came out like 15 years
I was
ago.
gonna say 10 years too late.
But yeah, that's the beautiful thing about the show is the final
First
scene is
question.
almost a mirror image of the opening.
Moving on.
In case it's not clear to you guys, we're going to be debating video games today.
I wish we could just talk about Lost though.
Yeah, we
can.
can do that later after the camera's
You
off.
should have picked the video game.
Wait, there was a
Um,
Lost video game.
I think there were 2.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
wow.
was. Is the thing and the thing?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
big or little. It needs
Yeah,
to be big.
I should have tested that out when I made the thing. You should be able to. Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah,
You might have to do that for like each one. Sorry.
every 30 seconds.
When I did the format, I started fresh and didn't think.
I
to
did it
test
for the score.
Alright.
So,
You might have to do that for each.
for those of you
individual
keeping score,
Nope.
0 to 0 to 0,
Like, nobody has any.
because we're 20 minutes in and we haven't started yet.
It's fine.
So I think Chris picked the first question, so he can start.
one. I did. The first question I believe was, "What is the worst EA Games game?" I don't think I've ever actually done one where you're judging, so I'm going to quickly ask you your format. Would you prefer me to just give the answer, or kind of give you a little briefing as to why I chose it?
You can give the answer in briefing. Yeah,
Okay, I chose Catwoman the game. It's based on the Catwoman movie starring Halle Berry. It's not a very good game. Most people aren't aware that it was a game. And unfortunately, everyone's aware of the movie and how bad it is.
It's not a good movie either.
It's not a good movie. The game's even worse.
Let me go next.
Yeah.
Okay. So for worst EA Games game, I went with SimCity, the 2013 edition. It was, it was a game a lot of people looked forward to in the franchise, and it failed on pretty much all accounts. And I'm going to elaborate on that here in a second.
Did you say sin or sim?
SimCity.
Okay.
SimCity is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
I want to.
Depending on what you do with your
game.
sins.
They didn't make a game out of Sin City.
They should.
They should.
That's why I was.
I thought that's what they said out loud. I was like, that sounds fucking cool.
Only the first one though. That Game to Kill for sucked.
Okay, so for
Will
my
the next one be
title,
a game?
and by the way, I'll give you the platform as well. I think that's important here. My title is Shaq Fu. It's an EA sports game. Shaq Fu. I'm laughing just fucking reading that. I can't wait to talk about this game for the Sega Genesis. Also came out for Super Nintendo. This game was a disaster, and yeah, we'll get into that.
Alright. So we're
Yeah,
done?
yeah.
Right, I'm glad you specified which Shaq Fu this isn't even me like attacking your answer.
Mhm.
It's just they recently in the past couple years did a
Yep.
remastered version of it.
Yes.
And also,
I was just curious. which
I
one.
should specify. I'm taught, well, never mind. No. SimCity was pretty much PC, particularly the relaunch originally. But here, let's talk for a second about how Shaq Fu's a fucking awesome game.
You're insane.
Like, number one,
Insane.
a fighting game with Shaq. But forget about Shaq. All the other characters are very, like, they're specialized. You have the animalist guy or lady maybe. You can turn into like a fucking tiger and shit. Like, dude, it's awesome. You have so many cool special moves, and like everyone kind of has their own thing. It's like it gets a bad rap because like Shaq
Is in
but-
a basketball jersey walking around and fighting.
but he also like
In
shoots
Japan.
fire and shit, and like it's like Killer Instinct but on a whole different level.
Shaq is shooting fire in his basketball uniform. Listen, I have to get this part out. We can jump on the other ones in a second. The people that have not played this game or are maybe unfamiliar with it, you have to listen to like the premise of this game. Listen to this. This is how the game starts. Shaq. This is an early '90s game back when Shaq was larger than life, pun intended. So they were trying to make money off of his likeness, of course. So what they did, they crammed all of the things they thought were good about video games, like the fighting of Mortal Kombat, the RPG of like Zelda, all this shit. Sports. You have Shaq. And he's, like I said, he's in his basketball uniform for some reason. He's walking through Japan. He walks into a dojo, and he's on his way to a charity basketball game, and just happens to go into this dojo. He speaks to a Japanese martial arts master, who then transfers Shaq into another dimension that they call Second World, where he must then rescue a young boy from an evil mummy. That's the premise of the video game. All the while he's in his basketball uniform. It's the most ridiculous shit. I mean, could you come? How fucking high were they when they made this?
That's why it's
That's
so
what you love
awesome.
about it.
It's so good. Like, okay, so
They made this game around the time that Shaq was also dropping fire albums.
Yeah, they get the same ratings as his video game. Fucking trash.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about SimCity, the 2013 edition. It's been almost a decade since we had like a main title SimCity game. So everybody's like pumped. The new SimCity's coming out, and I have a question: could people actually play your game? And your game, they could. They could. I know that they could. That's why I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Because when SimCity came out, it was online only for no fucking reason until after a whole year. And during the first like couple of months, the servers were so fucked that you had to wait 30 minutes to play, and a lot of people couldn't even play.
You said,
EA,
you said it came out 2013?
yeah,
I feel like that. Well, not
no, there wasn't.
A lot of online games. Though,
I feel like SimCity
I
is
played
a
Call of
highly
Duty,
popular
okay?
title.
Like,
Highly popular game.
well, and the thing is, there wasn't even offline mode, and it's not fucking World of Warcraft,
Yeah.
okay? It's SimCity. You couldn't even play it. It was so bad that the reviews were so bad that Amazon stopped selling the game for several days. And check this out, EA, who we're not even going to get to in this particular debate. We know these days they're particularly known or notorious for nickel and dime everybody for like DLC and stuff. That company, EA, fucked up so bad that they gave people like who had a digital download and couldn't return their game, they gave them a choice of like just a free game because they fucked up so bad. And not only that, they won America's worst, I think it was worst company of the year in 2013, largely due to all of that.
Nintendo.
And Maxis, who made SimCity and all the previous Sim games, they completely dissolved Maxis completely after that, and it was all the like Sims games and stuff were just absorbed by EA Studios and like period.
Nintendo Power, which is a very respectable magazine, because you could go on about all these ranking systems that they've done online stuff. Nintendo Power is the one I chose because they're respectable. They literally ranked Shaq Fu number 3 in their title 100 worst video games of all time. Not worst EA games of all time, worst fucking video game of all time. They made number 3 on Nintendo Power. That's saying a lot right there. That's a well-respected magazine that's come up with that.
Shaq Fu was one of those things that like at the
I think it's
time that
great.
game came out, what, 94?
I remember playing on
You
Sega
nailed it,
Genesis.
Alex. What the fuck?
I remember playing it.
Holy shit.
That game came out like it was one of those games that like you're like, oh fuck this, but like now that game, like looking back on it and trying to play it now, it's one of those like nostalgic like it's like The Room. It's so bad that it's good type.
It's
games.
just it's not even bad.
Whereas,
It's
like-
absurd. It's
yeah, it's
completely
just absurd. I wish
It's
they would have made it.
completely
I wish
absurd.
they would have
But
made
it's
it a movie
fantastic.
instead of like a game. But like, unfortunately, my game was a movie that sucked, and then they made it a game, and it made it suck even more somehow. Like,
Well, the graphics were great for the time.
I don't even know what year fucking it came out. Really, whatever.
I
What
want
year
to say
did
like
fucking
late or like mid
Catwoman came out,
2000s
yeah.
somewhere.
2005, 7, around that time.
I think it was before then, but it's around like mid 2000s.
All I know is the fucking it's such an overly simplistic game for what it is. The controls and the fight mechanics are so fucking simple that it's not fun to play. And it's one of those games most people have never heard of because it's so fucking bad. And the people that have heard of it are like, oh no, that movie sucked. I'm not playing that fucking game. I know it got super shitty fucking ratings.
I bet you-
I know Game Informer gave it like a 4 point something out of 10.
The game's better than the movie.
No, because the movie at least has Halle Berry in it.
I think didn't she do some voice acting in the game?
No,
They
they
was a
could.
different voice actor.
Yeah, it was. I want to say like Jennifer Hale, Jessica Hale, one of those two, some shit like that. But like they could have at least taken her fucking ADR from the movie and put it in the game. But they were too fucking. They couldn't be bothered to do that much. Like. And also, like, who wants to be Halle Berry fucking Catwoman ever? Ever. And for Halloween, for a fucking video game, for anything, like, you think Catwoman and you think, like,
Sex.
not that. Like,
Cats.
I
Sex
was about
with
to say,
cats.
I feel like Catwoman at Halloween, I think, is probably definitely a thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but, like, no one does the Halle Berry Catwoman. It's the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. or they're just a sexy kitty. But like, I don't even know what to say about my game because it's like your game at least has like a fan base, and yeah, people were bummed about it, but like EA tried to make up for it.
It was the premier city builder forever and completely dropped the ball.
Like my game, it was ported over to like. So
Like, can
many
you imagine if
different things.
NBA
There's
Live
PC.
came out and fucking, which is also an NBA game, or sorry, an EA game, but if NBA Live came out and no one could fucking play for weeks and weeks, you have to wait 30 minutes to play a fucking round of basketball?
I did associate.
No, you can't
I
do
mean, I know people
that.
that would-
I did associate like The Sims and SimCity as like PC platform though. You know, I really did associate it that way, always in my brain. So that's what you played on, right?
Yeah.
Like my shit, multiple fucking platforms. There's a Game Boy Advance version of it. That one sucks too. I
See,
think
it was so
I think
good
it was
they
in-
multi-platformed yours.
Yeah.
No, they were trying to fucking like profit off of a really bad fucking movie that they didn't expect everyone to fucking hate. And everyone like somehow like it takes anything that could be interesting about the movie and they try to shove it in this game and it's just boring. Like they took a shitty kind of action movie ish, I guess you would classify it as like an action movie, I don't fucking know. But or a superhero movie, and there's not really a superhero aspect to this game. It's just really boring gameplay where the
Do you want to
the
make
fighting-
this into your closing argument? I don't mean to be the judge, so you get this.
It's just like kick. Oh, okay, one kick, opponent dead. You walk another 5. It's just fucking. It's for the time it came out and everything about the game is just not good. It's below other games that were released around the same time. It's by far the worst movie tie-in, and I think it is the worst thing EA's ever put their name on because like it's at least like you said they eventually fixed SimCity or made it playable. And Shaq Fu,
Right, you can't say without laughing.
because it's kind of a shit game, but it's also like playing it now is kind of like a fun time because you're like, this is so fucking bad. I'm enjoying the fuck out of this. Whereas like my game, there's just no enjoyment in it. It's just like, yeah. I'd almost rather watch this bad movie, but instead I'm just gonna play like the Spider-Man game or something.
If you guys want to do closings,
That was my closing.
Okay. So here's the thing. Your game like had good graphics. You had Catwoman with a fucking whip, which is basically Castlevania, and everybody loves that. Okay. And then Shaq Fu, I just think this is just you're just completely wrong. Shaq
Thank
Fu
you for
is-
laughing when you're saying it. It's only helping me.
No,
Thank you.
because like Shaq Fu is like I've replayed it recently, and
God damn, how bored were you then?
it's not as fun as whenever I was like fucking 8, but at the same time, like like I said, the problem really with Shaq Fu is that, and you talked about it a little bit, is that it's so just absurd and insane, and that's part of the joy of playing that game. It is insane. It's so all over the place with the different characters, but like you have really cool fucking special moves. You have like honestly, they're like I would rather play Shaq Fu than like Virtua Fighter or like the real early Tekken games because it's so interesting and off the wall. And like I said, both your games were playable out of the gate. With SimCity, yeah, they eventually updated, but like I said, EA, who's notorious for trying to get money from people, gave people free games because they were like everybody was so pissed off. Amazon stopped selling it completely for several days, and like I said, for the first several weeks, a couple of months or so, like people could barely even play it. Like I said, you had to wait a half an hour. You got to load it up, go eat a sandwich and stuff. Check your phone, and then come back, and maybe you can play some SimCity. And the thing is, it didn't need to be online to begin with, and it took them a whole year to have an offline mode. So if you have a PC and you don't have internet, you just want to build a city and keep to yourself, fuck you. And that's why SimCity 2013 edition is the worst EA game.
Okay, so as far as SimCity goes, I'll just spend just a second on that one. I mean, like he argued earlier, it has the biggest fan base of all the ones we're talking about. I mean, that game platform has a following. And that's really all I have to say about it. I'm not a big guy into The Sims anyways. That's probably an unpopular answer here, but The Sims never fucking interested me anyways, so I wasn't expecting like big things from that. The Catwoman thing, like you said, it kind of side scrolls like a Castlevania type game with a whip. Okay, we've all been there, done that. This Shaq Fu thing, which is what we pretty much spent the whole time talking and laughing about here. I mean, you can call it fantastic on one hand because you're saying it's so ridiculous that makes it fantastic. That's really just spinning the whole argument, which is it's a ridiculous fucking video game. It's cringeworthy is the word I would use as opposed to fantastic. What's so cringeworthy is the fact that they really, it's not only a dumb concept that he's walking around in his basketball uniform in Japan, in another dimension, in an RPG / Mortal Kombat fighter shoot 'em out kind of game, and they're crossing over all these different genres like sports and pop culture. They're literally trying to cash in on everything. They cram it all into one really shitty video game that doesn't even play well. Even when he is fighting people, it doesn't play like I keep saying Mortal Kombat. It doesn't play like Mortal Kombat. The fighting is horrible. The storyline is a fucking joke. I mean, from the beginning when he meets the Japanese martial arts master that's like, I'm going to transfer you to a dimension. Oh, that's strange. Why are you transferring Shaq into a dimension? Oh, I know why. To fucking rescue a boy from a mummy. What are we fucking even talking about here? Like, I mean, I almost feel like I have to be high just to even, like, take this seriously. And again, Kyle could probably spin that into a good thing, too. Well, of course, you know, being high and being Shaq and all that's great. But, you know, if we're talking about the worst game of all time, this has to be the worst EA game of all time. Shaq Fu, Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Random fun fact though about the remake. Or
You can
remaster.
wrap people up as the mummy. That was real
yeah.
cool.
The,
Like,
the remaster, once you beat it, you unlock the ability to play back through the game as Barack Obama. That's kind of fun.
real.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if you were
I gotta
fucking
go.
joking or not.
Is this like a little open forum now? Because I have Shaq Fu. I bought it at the Milton Flea Market.
Well,
about
let
six
him-
with them.
If he wants facts, I can give
I
him
don't have
those,
really
but
any.
otherwise,
Yeah, I do want to hear that story, but let's do the judge.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna have to agree with Kyle. I think that since it's so absurd, that it has some value to it. I think it can be enjoyed just because of how absurd the game is. So, but between your guys' games, I think Catwoman was a bigger It was a worse game of the two just because of how obvious of a cash grab it was with such minimal effort put into it. With the SimCity game, I think they realized they messed up and then, tried it wrong and then eventually fixed the servers. But with the Catwoman game, it was just, made to be, oh, we're going to get some money because this Catwoman movie came out. So I think Chris gets the point for this one.
I did not expect that.
Okay, Corey, what's your story? I'm interested.
So, my brother and I bought Shaq Fu, which I still have, and I still have a working Super Nintendo.
I'm looking
so
up on eBay right now.
it's worth about $80 to $100 now. Which Super Nintendo games back then were expensive anyway. They were standard about $60. We got it for like $10 at the flea market with no box. I think I still have it. I'm sure it still works. It's a really bad game. It's not an RPG at all. Just because it has
I didn't.
just
There's like an
because it
opening.
has a map doesn't make it an RPG. Yes, you walk your little Shaq Fu character.
Little Chinaman, lots of
He
words.
doesn't gain anything. And the story, which is really funny, I was trying to see if I could find a video.
We have found the biggest Shaq Fu fan in
It was-
fucking West Virginia. Holy shit.
It was even weirder than what you, from memory, from what I can remember, which is not much. Shaq was trying to give like a poor boy his shoes because he didn't have shoes, and that kid got sucked into the portal from the mummy, and Shaq went in to
What's
save
going
him
on?
and give him his shoes. It was
What is
something like
going
that.
on?
Yeah,
I
I
was
remember
trying to
it
find the
did have
intro
something
to
to
that
do with the
game, but
shoes.
it was something
no,
like
I
that.
think he just walked into a random shop to buy shoes.
It
And
was
then the dude
some-
was like, "You gotta go save my kid."
It was something weird.
And then the story was like the words on screen. He was like, "Hey, what's up? On my way to a charity basketball game."
The words that went up there too, they ticked. Like they didn't just
Right,
come up. They
right.
went.
Right.
They didn't make the sound that they did. It's like I am Shaq.
So-
Like, it was so fucking weird. It was bad.
Wow.
And the moves were like impossible to do too. Like Mortal Kombat, you could do forward, B or whatever it was. Shaq Fu, you look through the magazines and they would have like these fucking weird things. And you're like, I can't even do this shit.
Minimal facts. Pretty much everything they said was clean. There's a lot on SimCity's launch. Pretty much everything Kyle said. I skimmed it. It seemed completely accurate. I don't know if the server, like, if offline was available exactly a year, but I feel like that's inconsequential anyway. Metacritic scores, which I feel is the best way to do it for video games. SimCity 64%, Shaq Fu 49%, Catwoman 46%.
Was that the which release? Because I know
I did PC for all available.
Because I was going to say I know for some reason the Game Boy Advance version of the Catwoman game got higher ratings because it was slightly better.
It
It's
came out in
I heard that game was
2004.
almost unplayable.
What is it?
You're talking about the year. It came out in 2004.
It did sound like a horrible game. I've never touched that game, so I don't know. But it
I've
sounded
never
awful.
even attempted to watch the movie.
Right?
The
Yeah.
game, and who doesn't want to see Halle Berry in ripped up leather? But
I mean, her leather's not really that ripped
No.
up.
it's
That's-
not even.
that's-
It's not
That's
even.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Like,
It's not even worth it though.
you picture Catwoman and you don't think Halle Berry, you think Michelle Pfeiffer. That's the...
It's not even worth it.
Look at the awful cover on this piece of shit.
He's got the Bruce Leroy glow, man.
Holy shit.
Oh
Like-
wow! Didn't they make 2 or 3 Shaq Fus too?
I don't know about
What
that.
is it?
I think,
You might be right.
Brian, what is
I
it?
don't know.
See,
As far as
yeah, that made it bigger.
early '90s
No, that's what we had.
It's
fighters,
embarrassing.
like that. Anybody play the Wu-Tang fighter? I think it was Inner 36 Chamber.
I have
Wu-Tang
played
Fighter.
that too.
The game was tight.
It was.
I think there were a couple.
I like
I
that.
remember Def Jam Vendetta.
That was
That's
great.
what I
I
was
love
thinking.
that game.
Maybe that's what I was
Game's like
thinking.
a-
Well, for like Sega and Super Nintendo, they had
Oh no,
Like
then I was wrong.
actually no, it might have been maybe Sega Saturn and PlayStation, PS1.
All I know is I was always Ghostface Killer. He was my favorite. I don't remember which one that was. I'm gonna do it in the Def Jam one. Sorry.
Oh yeah, in Def Jam I'd always go as fucking Flava Flav because it made no sense because he was pretty much a mummy. He has no muscle mass on his body whatsoever.
Dude, if you were playing that game and you weren't playing as Joe Budden, you were fucking up. That's all I'm saying.
The Mummy in Shaq Fu was the best character.
Alright, question 2.
Yeah, I think Kyle had the next one.
Yeah, so the question that I picked was what video game world would be the best in which to live? Grammatically correct, we were talking about that earlier.
Good job.
And I went, yeah, in which to live
In.
under?
In which
the-
Around. In which to live around.
and how to
I'm not a robot.
Caps.
I don't believe you.
So, and my answer, I went with, it's kind of just a generic term, but like the village from Animal Crossing, because it's relaxing, laid back, and it's a good time, community, and I'll get more into that here in a minute.
I went with a GameCube game, Super Mario Sunshine. Why? Because it's a vacation of a video game. The whole thing is a vacation on island. We'll talk about it.
Sorry, I'm distracted by the fact that I fucked up all the shit and it's a tiny window again.
Man, went to
That layer may or may not be locked. I know some of them are locked. You might have to unlock it and stretch it. The one I went with was what the fuck did I go with? We should have ran through all this. I went with GTA 5. San Andreas, I believe, is the
Really went out on a limb on that one.
I just think if we're
Los Santos.
Los Santos,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, San Andreas is like a neighborhood in Los Santos. I don't know. It seems like the poppin' place to live. I mean, there's plenty of things I can say about it, but I'll wait until we're actually going at each other's throats.
Yeah, it is popping, gun popping in your fucking ass. You want to wake up and maybe die today?
Yeah, no.
There's your world.
It's like if you
Wait, hold
if
on.
you've ever
Wait,
played
which Mario Sunshine was that? The one where you go around and you have like
The water gun.
The water gun.
Yeah.
So like your shit is like grimy everywhere, and you have to wait for this plumber guy to come around.
No,
and
it's a
clean your shit.
beautiful island on vacation.
After Mario's done cleaning shit.
He just has a job, so now you get to still have a job and everything. You know, just like, but you're
Yeah.
living on an island.
like no one wants to live in Los Angeles. It's a worse version of LA. It's like
No,
like, if you've ever
it's the
played
best
if
version
you've
of
ever
LA.
played GTA Online, you literally like walk outside like, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna get blown up right now by all these dudes that are just like looking to
Do
make.
you know what
my money.
happens when you blow up? You pop out outside the hospital. I picked a world where there's absolutely no consequences for your actions. You can do fucking literally
Free
anything.
healthcare.
Free healthcare.
It's not free. They take your money though. You get charged.
Well,
That's okay.
yeah,
just
but
go
all-
fucking rob someone at the local.
like it's easy
Rob
as
couple
fuck.
gas stations.
Don't have a car? Fucking take one. Hookers?
There's fucking like
Pilots without licenses.
there's fast
There's-
food joints. There's TV. They got cable. There's marijuana exists in this fucking world. There's fly cars, fly honeys. Like it's
I
fucking
think
perfect, and there's no consequences for anything.
See, I'm glad you ended on that too, because my personal. This is, you're the judge here. My personal thing is, I don't think that we should be allowed to do the whole respawn thing. The idea should just be to live in this world. And guess what world you're going to live in the least amount of time? You're going to fucking die the second you step out your door. I mean, and a horrible death, probably. Like a really fucking bad one. And a scary one. It's like, you didn't sleep at night because you're laying in your bed. It's just nothing but screaming and gunshots and the city burning.
Yeah,
You probably got a fucking STD from the night before from that damn hooker you had to pick up and drag around the back of the car.
but we're living in a video game world, so respawns are just like that's life. You live, you die, you wake back up.
You know what
It
game you
sucks.
just don't die in? Animal Crossing.
Right.
You don't
That's
have
exactly
to.
what I was gonna say.
You know what you do? You fucking fish. You plant peaches. Shit. You
So-
fucking.
Your world
value
consists of
community.
chores.
No, not even like you got.
It's
you
just
get,
chores,
no,
man.
but you don't even have to have a job because those chores are your job.
You open up your front door and like a guy runs by on fire. Like,
That sounds
like, what's the
fucking-
bad day? Close my door.
That sounds fucking great.
Plus,
though.
in Animal Crossing, you get to hang out with anthropomorphic. I can't even fucking say it, anthropomorphic animals who are your friends. There's a fucking dog playing the blues. Fucking KK Slider is my dude. Yeah.
Sounds badass.
Like, and you just like build up your community and make it a better community. It's like a commune, basically, a peaceful existence with these animals. It's great. Like, and yeah, Super Mario Sunshine, fucking like everything's dirty, and you got to worry about Bowser. I mean, it's no Los Angeles. Don't get me wrong. But,
Nothing that bad.
right. But like you have to worry about these fucking turtles and fucking Bowser. And like the turtles, if you come across a turtle in Animal Crossing, he's gonna be a cool dude.
I mean, it's been fucking forever since I played that like fucking Mario game. So like, in theory, what is there to do in that world?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. Ride roller coasters. Chill in a hot tub. Don't fucking get shot in the head when you walk out your door. Yeah. Sorry, there's no hookers in my world, but there are roller coasters. There's hot tubs. There's an island. There's beautiful blue seas. It's literally a vacation of a game. That's what's actually weird about this game. The more I look into it, I'm like, they actually just created a game that's where you're like Mario on vacation. Yeah, there is a downfall. Mario has a job. He has to clean. The island isn't disgusting, but he comes across little things where he does have to clean. And I thought of that as well. You still kind of continue living a normal life. You kind of have a normal. He's got the 9 to 5, but you want to get off on weekends, ride some roller coasters, maybe chill
But you
in a
know
hot
where
tub.
you don't need to have a job in Animal Crossing? Nobody wants to have a job. You have to, okay? And like in Animal
Yeah,
Crossing,
Animal Crossing is nothing but job.
no, because like, dude, if like, not everyone will agree with this, sure, but like, if left to my own devices, if I could just spend all day fucking fishing and hanging out, collecting sweaters and shit, and just making my house match, making everything look nice, and that's the only thing I have to do, that's a peaceful, nice little
So here's the thing. That is
Shit,
a
all I
peaceful
gotta do
little
is
existence.
hit up the
Die?
fucking chicken joint, die, respawn, go back to the chicken joint.
Take 2 more feet, die again, respawn again.
There's fucking cocaine. There's fucking.
Well, there is no cocaine.
Like, I'm sorry, this is the world I want to live in. It's like our world, but like amped up, and there's no consequences for anything I do.
So
Well,
If I want to go, actually,
You think
not
the
even
cops-
if I do, I guess want to go on a rampage and kill a bunch of cops, but I can't because this is real life.
Well, here's the thing,
In
too.
that world, if I'm living in that world, like that's
You think-
that's the dream.
You think real life
That's the
cops
dream.
are bad? You think real life cops are bad? Dude, if you fucking jaywalk in Los Santos, dead on sight. They don't fuck around. They don't arrest no goddamn body. Not a single person. They just kill you immediately. Like in the old one, sure.
That's
in
why you
GTA
shoot
5,
first.
GTA 5, nobody. You bump a cop car, they get out and kill you.
No man, there's so many missions where it's like busted and like all that shit. Like,
So again, let's back up here. Let's get out of the fucking death zone. I think you're dead.
Escape from
maybe.
LA over
Yeah.
here.
Like, if we're just talking about just existing in the world, less about the game and more about the universe, which is what the question is. Kyle's right. His is pretty peaceful. It's also pretty fucking boring. You're just sitting there and you're fishing. I mean, I'm bored even just talking about it. Mine is peaceful, yes, but it's also a vacation. Roller coasters, beach, pool.
Well,
It's
it's
very
funny.
nice.
It's funny that you mentioned that it's boring because in Animal Crossing there are all kinds of festivals and fun stuff to do, fun for the whole family. You gotta like I said, you got a dog playing the blues, man, or a dirge, whatever kind of music you like. Just talk to KK Slider; he's gonna hook you up. Go meet him at the train station. You know what I mean?
What
like
kind of
there's plenty
festivals are in Animal Crossing?
Well, there's like holiday festivals and like town festivals and stuff like that. But it's every day's a holiday basically. And just take it easy. Like sure you have roller coasters, but like I said, you also have giant death dinosaur turtles that might come in at any point and try to take away the princess. And then you have a whole fucking government crumbling. Okay, you don't.
And now we're into classic Kyle. I was waiting. Here we are. We have arrived. He has talked his way into this. He was waiting for it. He doesn't know when it's going to come, but now he's like, I'm rolling now.
In Animal Crossing, there's no government. There's just Tom Nook. And Tom Nook's just a guy who's pays
Where
you
is
pays you
the
honest
chicken,
day.
though?
Like if you want to, you don't even have to
you
necessarily.
ain't got chicken in
But
your
he
game.
will. He
You
will
hang out with chickens.
There are chickens. Yeah. There are
Yeah, that's
chickens.
what I'm saying. But you can't eat that shit.
Well,
Fucking Bell, son.
You can't eat
but
your
there's
pals,
fish.
dude.
Yeah.
You're going to eat your best
in
friend's
Los Santos,
sister?
you can eat people, but
you got the Cluckin' Bell. There's like all those fucking dope clothing spots. You can fucking sit down in a barbershop chair.
Well,
and
here's the thing.
Bam, your hair's different.
yeah, but then you get
Fuck
shot
it.
through the window.
Your hair's different. The back of your head's missing. You're dead.
And then you respawn. It's fucking fine, dude. It's great.
I'm glad Kyle mentioned the government thing because guess what happens in your world? Historically speaking, with no government, this society's not going to last. Okay, it's going to crumble.
How many Animal Crossing games are we up to now? No, everybody's. I mean, there are a couple of grouches.
You can't run
There are
a
a couple
place with no
grouches.
government.
But you know what? You win them over by doing good deeds as a community, coming together to help your friends out, feel good about and it works both ways too.
This is factual. You can fact check this. In my world, also sushi bars and seafood bars exist. I'm just saying. I've got it all covered. Vacation, relax, food. You are eating your own animals
Well,
that
in
you're
Animal
chilling
Crossing,
with.
there's also it's kind of like Disney in that like you have the dog who's a dog and then you have a dog who's a person. In Animal Crossing, you have fish that are just fish. You can eat fish. You can eat sushi, presumably. But
Can you fuck the fish? No,
But
you
can you-
can't.
but can you do
My game's
cocaine
got
on it?
fucking. It's got strip clubs. It's got everything, man. It's like where we live now without consequences. That shit is dope.
That sounds
Like-
awful.
No, it sounds great.
there's no cops killing you in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, but there's cops killing people like in real life. At least like in my shit, like you can like pull out a rocket launcher out of your fucking back pocket and just bam. Like,
In my game, you collect
That shit's
sunshine
so-
because you're so happy. You're so fucking happy that your job is to collect bits of sunshine and place them in your pocket. That's it. That's the argument.
If you guys want to do your closing.
So, like I said, it's been said, Animal Crossing is just a peaceful existence. Nobody dies. I mean, hell, even your friends don't die. I'm assuming they're all immortal, because nobody dies ever. You got this cool little dog playing the blues. You got all these like animal friends that you all try to build up your community and your houses and stuff. You can craft clothing and furniture and sell it to to your bird friend and stuff like that. Go fishing, plant strawberries and stuff, and just have a nice easy day. In Los Santos, there are no easy days. No one it's just a violent, just hostile place to be. No one, you would be most people would be on edge all times, even at best case scenario. And in Super Mario Sunshine, it's a nice setting and all, but you have you have Mario running around with the water gun, having to clean stuff up the whole time basically, and you also you still have some hostilities with the evil turtles and the Goombas and the threat of the fucking of Bowser coming in at any time and destroying your whole government, and you don't have to worry about that in the nice peaceful commune of Animal Crossing. And that's where I would want to live.
So, positives about my world that you live in. You're on a tropical island. It's beautiful. It's relaxing. You're not going to die 5 seconds after waking up. We've pretty much hit on that. I don't think we have to keep on this, but if you even got any sleep that night, when you do wake up, you're eventually going to die, or you probably have a felony on your record. I don't know. That's enough about that one. In Animal Crossing world, like we said, there's no government there. There's temptation. Is this fish my friend, or is he dinner tonight? I don't know. I don't want to eat my pals. If you're a vegetarian, you get to plant strawberries, you said, get to plant stuff, so maybe you could live in Animal Crossing if you're a vegetarian. I'm not. So I would constantly want to eat all my friends around me. The no government thing, the whole place is going to collapse. It's just made up. My island has a government. It's well ran. Mario has a job. He just has to clean some stuff up. That's the worst about mine. He has a water gun where he has to mop up a couple things. He gets to ride roller coasters, eat at a sushi bar. Like I said, you can fact check that. He gets to chill in a hot tub. He gets to chill on a beach. I've just described why we all want to get off work. We all want to go off work and take a vacation, and that's Mario Sunshine. The Isle of Delfino is the name of it, by the way. There you go. Okay, let's hear about this. I can't wait.
Alright, so I'm gonna start this off with both of you guys pick safe, calm little fucking places, but that's not what life is. Life is about fucking living, and that's the life you're gonna get in Los Santos. And you're making it out to be this crazy, violent, hectic place. Realistically, most of the violence that occurs is brought on by the fucking main player you play as. You cause most of the violence. So the average people are just walking by, going about their day. And like I said, there's titties in mine. There's there's beer. There's those everyday amenities that we all have and have grown to love. Whereas living in either of your worlds, after a month, what the fuck is there to do other than fish more and harvest your fucking peaches, or watch Mario clean the same fucking wall he's cleaned 500 times, and hang out with Goombas. At least in my shit, there's just things to do. It's a city. It's constantly moving. There's options for everything. You can be whoever you want to be in Los Santos, and it's fucking just brilliant. It's the perfect fucking life. And when you die, you just pop the fuck back up at the hospital, and it's fucking great. You can carry hundreds of guns in your pocket. That's fucking dope. You got fucking big pockets. That's fucking great.
Got them Jinkos.
Yeah. Oh, man. I have a story to tell you about this dude we saw at Burger King yesterday. Oh, man. He was rocking them Jinkos. I was like, man, where'd he get them?
Classics.
He somehow pulled his entire family out of his pants. What?
He pulled Gadgets out of his pants and
just Los Santos, I don't know what else to say about it that I haven't. It's the ideal world because it is our world, but turned the fuck up without any consequence. If we all could right now go out and steal a fucking Ferrari, we would. But the reason why we don't is because there are things in place keeping us from doing that. But in this world of Los Santos, there's nothing holding you back from that. There's nothing holding you back from going out and picking up a hooker and then taking your money back, and when she complains about it, you shoot her in the head, and then she just respawns half a block away. It's fucking cool. Nothing fucking matters. So you just get to live out every extent of any impulse, and I'm an impulsive person. The question was, what world would you want to live in? That is the world I want to live in. It's just constant impulse and thriving, and it's excitement. It's not the same mundane, like, everyday shit. And they got chicken and weed and cars.
I always wanted to eat like the chicken.
Yeah, Cluck and Bell.
You know,
Yes.
fucking Bell ain't good.
You don't have to pay for it. You just go in there, you can shoot them and then eat it if you want to. You can.
So I think I'm gonna give the point to Brian, just because what he said about it being like the perfect place to be, like, as like it's relaxing, it has like these beautiful beaches and all this like serene like location. It's like the perfect place to be for, like, you know, it's like a vacation spot. It's kind of, you know, meant to be like a little perfect little island. But close second though was Los Santos.
I would have given it to Chris after that closing.
Because like that you spun like everything they were throwing at you, like why it was a bad world, into something that was like why it made it so great, and I thought that was amazing. Cause
You know what's a perfect vacation spot? Every fucking island that gets smacked with a fucking hurricane.
I was anticipating someone coming in with that argument, and I was prepared.
I didn't think of it until
I was
like I
prepared.
didn't think of it until after. I'm like, fuck.
I did not anticipate the government argument of
Chris,
Kyle.
I think you could have actually won this if you would have debated how many activities you are able to do, like hang gliding, parachuting. You can sit on the beach. You can swim in your game.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out.
Yeah,
and
like
kill
as far as
everybody.
like
But you
vacation
can just-
spots
you
go,
can
I've
vacation
actually
in that game.
vacationed there.
You can go to those fucking stores like Cluck and Chicken, maybe not Cluck and Chicken, but like the gas stations.
No, you
They
can
just
go
play
to an
video
actual.
games
You
and
can
shit.
go to an
You know?
actual fucking
I mean, y'all games ain't got strip clubs.
copyright.
And you can also go to the fucking strip club and get like grinded on. You can't do that in Mario.
Beverage said, agree on Animal Crossing. Not a lot of games without a world-ending threat on the horizon. Hi,
So-
Beverage.
There you go. That
Hey,
just went around,
Beverage.
and everybody had their own versions of like whose world was better. That means it was a good question. That's what it means.
Although
Yeah.
part of your argument for Animal Crossing, it just clicks some gears in my head, and like Animal Crossing is like a fucking communist dream. Jesus Christ.
Animal Crossing sounds like purgatory to me. It's just like you're just there doing
Like,
shit.
Carl-
Do yours.
Karl Marx wrote Animal Crossing.
Like it's not bad, but it's not good. It's like I guess I'll go fish today.
Oh shit. You got torpedoed.
I'm low on papers.
That's actually kind of what I only played Animal Crossing briefly with Beverage. Hey Beverage, and I thought it was boring as fuck. I wouldn't want to live there.
It's zen. It's a peaceful game.
It's purgatory.
See, I considered going with like a Harvest Moon game, but I was like, there's too much work in Harvest Moon. I would rather live in it.
I'd rather be a real farmer.
now going to the opposite of Zen, your question.
Metal
So-
Gear Solid because I want to be in a box all
You
the
might
time.
not have to stretch
Like, that's all I want to do is just be in a box.
It may or may not be locked.
It is.
Alright, I was gonna say some of them I locked, some of them I didn't.
Whoa.
I need to grab the.
Yeah, we're bouncing all around this bitch.
So my question is the best fighting game of all time. For my answer, I went with a childhood favorite, not only of mine, but probably of many of you as well. I went with Mortal Kombat 2. The Sega Genesis version is the one that I wrote down here. It was an arcade as well, and they had it for Super Nintendo as well, of course. And everybody knows all the different versions of Mortal Kombat, and so we'll get into that once we get going here.
I hope somebody picked Shaq Fu for this.
We're back at Shaq Fu.
Oddly enough, for mine, I picked no. I went with Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great game, and I don't know. I mean, I'll expand upon more of it in a moment, but like it's not only, in my opinion, the best fighting game ever. I think as far as modern gaming, as we know as a gaming culture, it is one of the more influential games or fighting games to occur.
You know, it's funny that Brian went with Mortal Kombat 2 because I went with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And the reason that I went with it is obviously Mortal Kombat's known for a lot of things, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I mean, number one, Ultimate's right there in the name. Number two, everything that you love about Mortal Kombat is at its peak, and it's done the most in Ultimate Mortal Kombat.
I'm really upset that you didn't go. And number 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. It's funny that you both picked Mortal Kombat. As far as those like old school like fucking side-scrolling like punchy kick games, it's probably a non-popular opinion. Street Fighter is much superior to Mortal Kombat. You can eat a dick on that one.
So you didn't pick. So you just picked.
Yeah. No, I'm
Honestly, let him talk about it. Fuck it.
I'm talking shit. No, I'm talking shit on like your choice. But if we're also going that route, the best of those types of games is fucking Samurai Showdown. Samurai Showdown is the fucking shit. Whereas I picked a game that like everyone in this room is familiar with. I don't remember the exact year fucking Melee came out. I want to say roughly at least 14 to maybe 17 years ago or some shit. Like, no, probably not. I don't know. That's more of a fact check thing. But the thing is, since that game came out, people have been holding fucking Smash tournaments. And to this day, when people hold Smash tournaments, and like I'm talking about like for money, like major league professional players, they're still playing fucking Melee. People are still making money playing that game. People still fucking play that game. It's the game that kind of like jump started the whole like professional gamer like culture in that sense of like a big tournament of like people just throwing down like that. Like there are other fucking games, but like not really like fighting games in that sense outside of like maybe Street Fighter. Street Fighter also had a major fucking role in that as well, but like I've never heard of anybody having a fucking Mortal Kombat 2 tournament.
Oh yeah, it's there, dude. It was on
the whole
my
game
list.
is a tournament.
Yeah, it was on my list. So exactly everything you just said can also be argued for both Mortal Kombat games as well. So I think all those just kind of cross out. They still hold. That's why all these games are great. Actually, they still hold tournaments for all 3 games for money. They're old school. Everybody likes to go to their old school console and play. Something about Smash Brothers. I was anticipating someone using this. Okay, something about Smash Brothers is, yeah, it's fun, and yeah, a lot of people play it. Those are correct. But something that game does, it takes the best characters from all the different games. It piggybacks off of other games. Is what I'm trying to say. Rather than come up with like its own characters the way Mortal Kombat did, they created them from scratch. Smash Brothers says, well, what's the best person in Street Fighter? What's the best person from this game, and let's put them all together. So I'm gonna take a point away from Smash Brothers in mind, just because of the way it piggybacks off.
But it takes those characters and it applies them in such a different fucking way. Like nothing you do as Kirby in a Smash Brothers game, or specifically Melee. I'll just focus on Melee because that's like what I'm talking about. It's something Kirby actually does. It takes these characters and applies this character to their
you get different weapons and shit like that. That's what Kirby does.
Yeah, but like not the way that it's applied in Smash Brothers. Like none of these characters. It takes these characters and what they're known for and applies their own skill into a fighting game. Like Link doesn't go around fucking.
Here's the thing.
Fighting
like
people
if you
the
want
way
to fight,
Link fights
if you want
somebody
to fight
in
a fighting
Smash
game,
Bros. Game
in this world, you want to fight in a fighting game. Any game, like the thing about any Mortal Kombat versus any other fighting game, is that you have finish him. You don't. I mean, you have cool moves in Smash Bros. Sure, fucking knock them off into fucking space, whatever. But like, you can't rip their fucking spine out of their throat or fucking knock their heads off, and like that is the exclamation point at the end of the fucking game. And not only that, in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 versus Mortal Kombat 2, for instance, you have, like I said, it's everything done to the most. So you have more characters of the original classic characters that everybody loves about Mortal Kombat. Like sure, you don't have like the DLCs like that you do like these days, but like in the you have more characters. In Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Not only that, specifically, when it's time to finish him, you have a range of choices from animality. You can, if you're a Smash Bros type of dude, you can do a friendship. You can do you have animalities, babalities. If you just want to turn them into a baby, you ain't shit now, are you?
Those
Like-
are also in Mortal Kombat 2, just FYI.
The animalities,
Babality and friendship is in Mortal Kombat 2.
but animalities aren't.
I can't confirm that. I don't know.
I think Liu Kang may have had one fatality where he turned into a dragon into. Could be wrong, but like animalities in general, you couldn't turn into a polar bear or fucking something.
But like Kyle said, when we're talking about a fighting game, you talk about the ultimate game with the most blood and gore, and as a matter of fact, that's a huge point of Mortal Kombat, so he's always going to piggyback off of this because we're both talking about Mortal Kombat, but this game changed the game as far as how much blood and guts and gore can we put into one game. So when it first came out, they actually had multiple lawsuits filed against them for the original Mortal Kombat. Now I'm arguing Mortal Kombat 2, and so I'm saying a lot of the same things that he's saying about my game. It's Mortal Kombat 2 is just the better version. What they did, they upped it. More fatalities, more characters. There were multiple ways to finish people. Finishing moves. Something else cool about Mortal Kombat is, again, what he said. You just say the word, finish him, or fatality. Everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. It crosses over into pop culture. It crosses over so much that they made a movie about it. And they didn't just make one movie about it, they made 2 movies about it. And the movie that they made about it, it was after, yeah, it's whatever.
Well, the second one, the first one was fun.
Yeah. Well, that first movie came out after Mortal Kombat 2. So when his video game came out, they had already made the movie. They essentially made the movies series off of the first 2 Mortal Kombats, which is where that one gets another check. Another thing about Mortal Kombat compared to like Smash Brothers, this is the only fighting game that features the RPG levels. Action adventure content as well, which is another cool thing about as far as a fighting game is concerned, because not only can you choose to fight your friend, but you can also play it by yourself, and you can fight your way through the game with an actual storyline, and that's cool too. So it's more than just to put 2 people together, smash some buttons. It's more than all that.
Right. With Smash Bros, there's definitely a storyline to it, and like, you don't have to just play with 2 people. You can play with fucking 4 people. Amp up the fucking fighting action. Hey, like it's so much fucking faster of a game, and the pacing and everything, and there's way more fucking
Then
methods
Mortal
and
Kombat?
modes. Yes.
Have you ever done a Mortal Kombat combo? You get like 15 hits with rapid speed, and like, don't get me wrong, there are combos and shit in Smash Bros, but you don't have like 15 like you know,
okay.
you don't have combos that can take out somebody's whole health in one combo.
You're
because
blocking
it's 15.
from one direction, whereas in mine you have to watch out for up to 3 other fucking people. Like, there's so much more going on. There's also so many more methods of like playing in different modes. You can play on like fucking teams. You can play like 4 versus 4. Like you can. And
That point
the
is
fucking
almost going to have to be
characters are,
moot because our consoles can't handle 4 and 8 and 6 players. We just can't handle it.
Well, that's unfortunate that you pick a game that doesn't like do that, because that's modern gaming, man. Like you could have. If you were to pick a fucking Mortal Kombat game for the best fighting game, you fucked up by not picking one of the new ones.
No,
I disagree
you were
with
wrong.
that.
The new ones are just trying to live up to the old ones, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
no
OG
fucking way. No
paved the way,
fucking way.
and the
You
one-
can't. You
I mean,
can't,
the X-ray
no, you
movies
can't
are
bring
cool.
up like fucking like the fatalities and all this shit in your point, and then be like, but the new ones fucking suck. The new ones, the fatalities and shit are so much fucking cooler.
Just because it's better graphics.
The fucking gore and shit is
like
so
the
much
X-ray-
fucking
the
cooler.
X-ray moves
The
are-
characters are so much fucking cooler.
But your game doesn't have any of those.
And the reason why the Mortal Kombat still is going to this day is because those beginning ones were so fucking good. So they're still spitting them out and making them. They're still making Smash. They're still making Smash as well. I agree, but they've been making Mortal Kombat longer. It's been better for longer.
Smash is just fucking like
Mortal Kombat.
It's so good.
It's
Like,
the number one as far as video game movies go. I know we're crossing over into movies here, but it's the number one video game fighter movie of all time. And if anyone was going to argue Street Fighter, it's not even close.
but the Street Fighter movie does have JCVD, who is like top notch. I like.
But he didn't even have a flash.
Whereas like I don't. It's hard to talk about like fucking Mortal Kombat and just focus on the games and not like how fucking complicated all the storyline bullshit is throughout those games, and like how many different fucking retcons of this, and that wasn't the real Sub-Zero,
Well, you
that
had-
was Sub-Zero's brother.
Well, you had
that was
that
this other
because-
motherfucker from this clan, and like it's just
Well, you have
all
that
the same
because
bullshit.
because the game is different depending on who you win the tournament with. So obviously not all those are going to be able to be contiguous because everyone didn't win the tournament, and it can't be contiguous throughout the fucking couple decades that it's been, because depending on who you play with, the story is different, So yeah, they try to work some of that in, but obviously it can't, obviously you can't have a bunch of different storylines going on at the same time, so it can't be completely contiguous.
I'm just saying you both kind of picked testosterone the game, whereas I picked a game based on fun and just it's more of a fucking
Violence is fun.
Yeah. Well, look
we're
at
talking
the-
about violence.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the guy who's
Fighting.
living in Grand Theft Auto world, who's now offended by blood.
I'm not offended by blood. It's just I think Smash is a way more fun fucking game. I think mastering Smash as a game takes a bit more skill than it does to be good at Mortal Kombat.
You are wrong.
No.
You are wrong. It's
No,
way
no.
harder to pull off Mortal Kombat fucking. Don't get me wrong. There's
No.
skill
No,
in
there's
fucking
so
Smash
much
Bros.
fucking skill.
But it takes way more. Play Mortal Kombat play
Where's
It
my
might still be on the porch.
charger?
But play Mortal Kombat against people who know how to play Mortal Kombat and
Play Smash against people that know how to play fucking Smash, dude.
And-
There's so many fucking just intense fucking combos of like Pikachu alone is a nearly undefeatable character if you know how to fucking use Pikachu.
But you could say that about any character in any game or any fighting game, pretty much. If you know how to use them, sure. But Mortal Kombat is fast paced with the combos and Smash is just Smash is a little more family friendly and stuff. But like I said, we're talking about a fighting game.
It might be one of those right there.
Oh, are there two
So,
here?
Yeah.
when you're talking about a fighting game, fighting is violence, and you're going to turn that up to 11 when you play Mortal
Yeah,
Kombat.
sure. Look up the definition of fight, and yeah, exactly what he said. I mean,
And it's in the name, Super Smash Bros. Okay, Mortal fucking Kombat with a K because we're at
death battle.
Yeah, you are fighting to the death. There are no happy losers here, unless you give them a babality or friendship if that's your thing.
Dude, this is a weird personal story, but this is such a great time to tell it. Because this goes along. I was literally playing Mortal Kombat 2, the one I'm making an argument about, and again, it's a weird story. But I'm playing with my friend. We're at the time, we're 8 years old, 9 years old or something. And this friend had a really queasy stomach, and back then, this Mortal Kombat shit blew your mind. These days, nobody fucking even bats an eyelash. It's whatever. Oh, they ripped their spine out, shit on them. Who fucking cares? It's on TV all day long. But back then, that was unheard of. Well, my friend, I did one of my first fatalities on him. He fucking vomits on himself. He vomits on himself. That's a real story. I mean, it sounds fucking made up, but holy shit. I made my friend puke on himself by doing a fatality. Holy shit.
If you guys want to do your closings for this.
Alright, so, I have to separate myself a little bit from the other Mortal Kombat here, and the best way I know to do that is mine came first. So the other one just piggybacks off of what mine did. Now, did mine piggyback off of the original Mortal Kombat? Yes, but everything that mine does, it just does better than the original Mortal Kombat. However, and we keep making this argument, they keep just going up and up, so why didn't I pick just the very latest Mortal Kombat? I picked this one specifically just because it was really the first one to introduce the multiple fatalities. So all the shit that he's going to say is great about Mortal Kombat. This one was the first one to step it up and do it. The original Mortal Kombat, it didn't have multiple finishing moves. It didn't have half the characters that are on his and mine. And speaking of the characters, now just making the argument as a whole here, the Mortal Kombat characters, they are just classics that everybody knows. Everybody knows Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Katana, Raiden. Everybody knows these guys. It's pop culture influence is just off the charts with Mortal Kombat. I talked about the movie. It's the #1 grossing video game movie of all time. It even goes over into other pop culture, like Wreck-It Ralph, for example. There's a scene that shows a cyborg performing ripping out of a heart fatality. It rips out the heart of a zombie. That's what it is in Wreck-It Ralph. That's a fatality. There were claytalities on Clay Fighters 63 1/3. Even Gears of War features executions, which all those are fatalities. The idea all came from Mortal Kombat. This is a series that survived multiple lawsuits, and again, we're talking about fighting games here, so blood, gore, death, that's all fighting when you define fighting. This series survived multiple lawsuits, and because of Mortal Kombat 2, the people had finally had enough, and these lawsuits ended up creating the Enter Software Rating Board, the ESRB, that they still use today to rate games and computer games for their violence, what's suitable for children, what's not. This is all because of Mortal Kombat 2, which is the best version of Mortal Kombat, in my opinion.
All right, you mentioned the ratings. I'm pretty sure mine's rated E for everyone because everyone can fucking play it. It's a fucking fantastic game. Everyone should play it. And as far as the characters go, there's characters from all different forms of fucking media, and they're so fucking great, and they're excellently used because the moves and the methods of strategy you use throughout this game vary from character to character. There's no two characters really play exactly the same fucking way. The fucking levels are exciting and interesting. Oh, this level's drawn from fucking Star Fox. Oh, you have a fucking like Hyrule level. There's fucking Mario levels. It's all these different fucking media things and other games and characters coming together to just create this super fun fucking game. And that's what it is. It's a game. It's meant to be fucking fun. And that's why it's so fucking perfect. You're able to play with 3 of your other friends. Nobody there's none of that like fucking passing a fucking controller back and forth bullshit. Everyone can fucking play. And there's so many different modes of playing on this game. There's the story mode. There's just various like different, for lack of term, fucking I guess melee battle type shit. There's different modes for that. There's all the fun items. You can get fucking Pokeballs and just fucking laser swords and just there's so much to this fucking game. I don't even know how to articulate it really, but it's a fun fucking game. It's fucking people still to this day. There's newer versions of it, but like when they play like fucking major tournaments, they play fucking Melee. The GameCube itself is like outdated, but this is still the console of choice when it comes to a Smash Brothers like fucking tournament. It's just fucking great. If we had a GameCube in front of us right now, we'd be playing this fucking game or Mario Kart, but probably Smash because like y'all would get tired of losing in Mario Kart to me. That's my closing.
So, like Brian brought up, to differentiate between my Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and his Mortal Kombat 2, number one, Ultimate's right there in the title. Everything that 2 does, here's the thing, with anything, you have like originators, and then you have the point where it gets perfected. Those are rarely the same thing. In this case, you did, Mortal Kombat 2 brought a lot of things to the Mortal Kombat world, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is where it was perfected. You have more characters, and characters people give a shit about. Not these characters these days that no one cares about. Like you have characters like Shiva and fucking Motaro and stuff like that. And obviously all your classics like Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, etc., Raiden. And like you have more in the way of like finishing off the fight. You have more fatalities, babalities, friendships. If you don't want to kill your opponent. And like we said, with Smash Bros, it's like you can make the argument that it's family friendly, but it's still violence. And when you want family friendly violence, we might as well have family friendly fucking robberies. You know what I mean? Like like when you want to have you want to fight, you want a fighting game, then you want everything turned all the way up, and that's what Mortal Kombat is. With Smash Bros, if the argument was what is the best crossover game ever, I would probably give that to you. But we're talking about fighting games. We're talking about blood. We're talking about broken bones. We're talking about people. And in this game, people are fighting to the death. They're not fighting for funsies. And when you talk about different stages for all these different people, you have that in Mortal Kombat. You have different people. I mean, and that even goes all the way back to like the Acid Pit days and Hidden Reptile and stuff. And but with Ultimate Mortal Kombat, like I said, it has the punctuation at the end. You have the finishing moves, which I feel any game, as much as I love Street Fighter, Virtual Fighter, all these other, it's great, but just knocking your opponent down and getting a KO at the end, it's not the same as being able to rip somebody's fucking, rip somebody's head off and hold their fucking head and spine dripping and be the Mortal Kombat tournament winner. And you know, with Smash Bros, you have you have cool moves, but with Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, you have everybody has their own special moves that fit their character. You know, whether it's Sub-Zero freezing stuff or Scorpion with his harpoon and this and that. And you know, everybody has their stages and stuff too. And you know, all the combos are turned up. You know, way more moves, and you have you know. In Smash Bros, you can it's fun. You can, but you just knock somebody off the platform. But another thing is too, in Mortal Kombat, you don't have to worry about dying because you fucking slipped. And that's why Ultimate Mortal Kombat is the ultimate fighting game.
I do hate that about Smash Brothers. How you can just fall off.
Right?
God damn it! Why did I say that? That's so true.
I
Fuck
jumped
that.
too far, just a little bit
God
too
damn
far.
it! I'm off the fucking map. Yeah.
Fighting for Funsies, new band name I call it.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking fantastic.
I'm glad I walked outside for
So
what seemed to be hours, and I didn't miss anything, did I?
what I wanted to hear to distinguish the two fucking Mortal Kombats is the run button.
There's a run button.
Run.
Well, I just kind of I try I didn't mention it specifically, but I was really thinking more of it whenever I was talking about the combos, because you know that factors into your quick ass combos.
Because it's with I don't think the SNES, but with the Genesis, you had to buy a new fucking controller
with the top
because
button.
you didn't have the buttons to do all the shit. And you could have knocked down MK2 because you have the run button. You could have knocked down MK3 because you have the run button.
I was fully prepared to go against Street Fighter. I knew somebody was going to pick Smash. That was a given, but I was I figured it was going to be Smash, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. That's what I thought.
Pretty clean round again. MK3 is the only one that had animalities, babalities, and friendships introduced in 2. And I don't know what RPG elements you're talking about in 2.
I don't know if I said RPG, but
I think he's just mixing up his notes, and he came back from
Came
another
back to
one
Shaq
that
Fu.
he didn't. And also, Shaq Fu didn't.
Corey, I'll tell you something right now. You just stay the fuck out of all this. The only time you ever open your mouth is involving me, and I'm putting my foot down this time. You can just fuck right off over there. So go fall off the porch like Smash Brothers. Fucking kill yourself.
Okay. So kickball has RPG elements.
Yeah, you lost in that too. Keep going.
But I got better. I progressed. I gained skills, kicking skills. But
Yeah.
you don't.
And I took your life away when you tried to run to first base,
That's
right?
fine.
So,
That
got on video.
that was an experience. I gained points from that though.
So yeah, those are the only facts I got.
I'm going to give the point to Chris because I think him including the game for everyone versus the game being for 1v1, I think that was a better argument because his game, like he said, encompasses more people able to play it. It attracts more audience just because of the crossover element, and it just easier to come into, and it be for everyone. It literally anyone can play it.
Are there any facts about
And you don't have to differentiate between the two Mortal Kombats if you just choose it. It's nice and clean that way. You're like, no.
Are there any facts about the complexities of combos versus Smash Bros. Combos versus
I mean, I can tell you a fact right now. Yours is forward A. Yours is
Forward A, up B.
Well,
Dragon
OB,
Punch,
OB.
quarter circle.
I can tell you a fact
Yeah, better
right
get
now.
that half curve right, or you're gonna
Yeah.
fuck that.
I can tell you a fact right now that if any of you motherfuckers, I don't know you personally.
Let's just try and start.
I don't know your melee skills, but with Falco, I can beat your asses up.
Falcon is
oh, you're one of those people.
I'm Falco.
Go away.
I'm very well trained by Beverage with Falco. He was Fox, I was Falco. It was weird, almost.
That's the reason I hate Melee.
Why?
Because Fox and Falco players. They just ruin the game because they bank on busted
Because you
elements.
die all the time, you can't win.
You bank on busted elements in a broken ass game to win, and that's not fun.
Corey,
It's fun for me.
Corey
That's
also-
the only thing that I can ever win at.
Corey also enjoyed being the Alien vs Predator, and fucking disappearing and then popping up and killing you and disappearing again. That fucking guy.
I shit, Brian.
So, and then that leads it to my question, which was most overhyped game. And I'll let, I guess, Brian start since he's closest.
Oh my god, the most overhyped game. I hate this game, and it is the definition of overhype, and that is Fortnite. Say no more. I'll talk about it in a minute.
Can you do the dance first, though? One.
I will do none of those. Whoever wants to say words next can.
It's unfortunate that you picked Fortnite because I guess I have to say good things about it.
Yeah, right.
For most overhyped game, I picked what was it? I picked Kingdom Hearts 3. That game had mad hype around it. Many people I know played Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2 and all the ones in between as children, and the game kind of was a part of a lot of people I know's like childhood and just their experience with games and that type of game, that whole like fantasy RPG type style of shit. And the 13-year wait for this game, just so much anticipation built around it and built around it. The game came out, no one talked about it.
And I went with 2015's Star Wars Battlefront because it was, I think like 6 years since the last Battlefront game, and Battlefront games were always, real well received and popular. And then our buddies at EA released half of a game, nickel and dimed you for everything, and there wasn't even a single player mode, and it was just overhyped. It wasn't what people had come to expect from a Battlefront game.
Probably the same fucking guy that put Shaq in a second world with a Japanese martial arts master in his basketball uniform.
Chinese.
Probably the same fucking guy.
Was it Chinese?
Let's try.
I would go with Japanese even still. my final answer is he's in Tokyo, which is in Japan.
That's
So
racist.
with Fortnite,
Fact
how many
It's
maps?
like a shoot for
We're on a different
He was-
round,
he
man.
was trying
Like
to-
how many maps are in Fortnite?
How many maps?
Yeah.
I don't know. It sucks so bad. I didn't dive into
Because
it.
like when Star Wars Battlefront came out, there were like 4 or 5.
Fortnite updates itself, so you get new maps with the updates.
See,
That's the
EA's
answer.
happy to give you more maps if you pay $5 for each fucking pack, and they're trying to nickel and dime you over like special characters. Greedo, nobody gives a shit about playing as Greedo. Okay, it's everything that was great about the original games and the freedom of playing in the Star Wars world in the original games. Like they just give you a little taste to keep you coming back and trying to pay more money to get more out of it, because they gave you basically a half-finished game. And like I said, there was no like story mode or like single player mode. There wasn't it was just a big letdown. With Kingdom Hearts, you at least got a full game, and honestly I've never really played Fortnite, so I can't say how much hype there would be about it. I mean, is that the free game? Is it free?
That's sort of.
You
free.
can't overhype something you get for free, man.
Well, thanks for bringing that up. It's not free at the end of the day. Every parent's credit card's fucking ruined because of this game. Dear God, I had teenagers over at my house that were on my Xbox, and they took my girlfriend's credit card to negative whatever it could run to because of buying everything.
And
that you can
another
buy
thing
for
about
the
Fortnite, the one thing I do
Sucks.
know about Fortnite is that it has shitty graphics. Like no one's hyping that up. Like
Everyone's
people play-
hyping it up, dude. You
people-
can walk in a fucking restaurant and the kids are doing the dance. They're doing it everywhere you go.
Well, people play it because it's free. Nobody's like, oh man, Fortnite's getting ready to come out, so it's gonna be fucking awesome.
No, that's
See,
what they are doing.
The
and
thing
it's-
with
it's
Fortnite
over.
was I don't recall any actual hype over the game until the game came out, and it was just kids
Then it was
fucking
the
love it.
most
Kids
overhyped.
just
And that's the
fucking
thing,
love
it's
it, and that's
fucking 14-year-old kids love shooting each other in the face regardless of what game it's in. I mean, It's the same as any other first-person shooter, and sure, there's nothing that sets it apart because every first-person shooter is the same fucking first-person shooter, and it's free. At the end of the day, like you can't be mad about it. And with Kingdom Hearts is like, with such a long time for such great games, they couldn't have done anything to make everybody happy. You still got your Disney characters, you still got your Square Enix stuff. It's like, I mean, personally, I like the original Kingdom Hearts and stuff, but like I always preferred Final Fantasy actually. Like, I mean, you have some of the characters and stuff like that, but it's like I wasn't really as interested in like the Disney crossover aspect of everything. But yeah, now you have more characters. Obviously, they have more properties and stuff like that. And I think that they at least try to use some of that and add some more characters that you didn't have. But yeah, it's like after 13 years, nobody's going to be happy with what you're given. I mean, fucking like
that's the thing. It was like 13 years of like waiting for this game to come out. Fucking E3 came out. They fucking dropped the fucking trailer for it. For how many fucking years in a goddamn row? At least like fucking 3 years. There was Kingdom Hearts 3 next year. Oh wait, no, we're pushing it back again. Okay, Disney acquired another fucking property. Oh, we're pushing it back again. It built hype for fucking years for it to come out, and just no one fucking talked about it. There's not a fucking meme, and we live in a modern meme culture. How the fuck did this game not get memed? It didn't happen. No one fucking played this. People played it, but no one fucking talked about it after all the fucking hype and talk leading up to this game. And which is what makes it the most overhyped game. It was like 13 years of people just fucking waiting from like fucking childhood to like being a grown ass fucking adult, being like, I can't wait for that fucking Kingdom Hearts game. I'll make my own money. I ain't gotta spend my allowance on this shit. That's a fucking paycheck.
The thing is,
I'm so pumped to get like most of the people I know that bought that game didn't fucking finish it.
The thing is, like, despite like
after waiting 13 years, how do you wait 13 years for a game, buy it, and you don't finish it?
Well, imagine waiting not quite as long, like 6 years for a game that's beloved, and you're ready to play the next installment. EA puts out a half-finished game as a movie tie-in, basically, to cash in on The Force Awakens, which just came out. Then they want to nickel and dime you for everything you expected to be in the game. And, I mean, and still, you couldn't even pay them enough to get a fucking single-player campaign out of it, or any sort of story or anything like that. Like, the loadouts and guns and weapons and stuff like that were, like, there were just a handful of them. And like I said, it basically was a movie tie-in, first-person shooter that any other, and like as much as I shit on first-person shooters a minute ago, it did everything to a lower bar than like less guns, less maps, and like it just wants to cash in on Star Wars, and then nickel and dime you for every little thing, and at least you have full games, and like I said, like for Fortnite is free. And Kingdom Hearts is like, you could have never done anything to live up to everybody's expectations after working on a game for that long.
So to pull back and think about the definition of hype, what is hype? It means it's just thrown in your fucking face every day, everywhere you look, everything. This game, Fortnite, is by far the most overhyped of all the games we're talking about. They're talking about the gameplay of the games, and that's fair. I can get into some gameplay about Fortnite that sucks as well, I agree. But like, the overhype on this game is ridiculous. It has commercials. It has Halloween costumes. It's everywhere. Every child's house you go into, that's what they were obsessed with. They were playing Fortnite until bedtime and past their bedtime. And like I said, my biggest thing about the whole Fortnite thing is it actually is a very secret little endless money pit. It fucks up all these parents' credit cards. I've experienced it myself. These kids get on there and there are 20-year-olds that play this game. It's not just for kids, by the way.
35-year-olds.
Yeah, there's 35-year-olds. And that's another thing that sucks about it. You're fucking arguing against like 9-year-olds and on this shitty ass game. Really, at the end of the day, it's a piece of shit game. It's super cartoony. The mechanics of the game are fucking bad. The guns don't fire right. They have really low damage when you do fire. People are constantly throwing up walls built around them, so you're walking around this map and there's just random walls setting all around. It fucking sucks. One thing that sucks the most is everybody jumping around. Everybody's a goddamn bunny rabbit in this game. All they do is jump and shoot, jump and shoot. You can't fucking hit anybody because they're just jumping around the whole time.
It sounds like you hate it because you're bad at it.
The gameplay's
Like, bunny hopping has been a thing since Counter-Strike.
But guess what?
Quake,
But guess what?
Unreal.
And guess what? They do it right because when you bunny bunny hop in Counter-Strike and things like that, your accuracy goes off in the guns. On Fortnite, it doesn't, because all they did was just add it in there because the other games had it, and they're like, oh, we'll just put a gun in this cartoon guy's hands, let him jump around. You're not punished at all for bunny hopping, so you can bunny hop 1,000 times in a row, and your accuracy stays the same. You should at least blow yourself backwards, or your accuracy should go around like it does in those games that you mentioned, and it doesn't in Fortnite. And so what I'm saying is, you get all these commercials, you get all these Halloween costumes, you get all this shit, and you're thinking like, well, goddamn, I gotta download Fortnite. That's what I did as a person. I really did download it on my own. I was like, well, I guess I gotta fucking download it. I don't even know why I downloaded it. All the hype put it in my head. I fucking downloaded it on my Xbox, and did I think it sucks? Yeah, I do think it sucks, but I downloaded it because it was so overhyped. That's
See,
why
I don't see it as being overhyped. I see it as being well marketed for its audience, which it's a game aimed towards a younger audience, young children to like mid to possibly late teens. Whereas like your perspective of it is the same as one of those like fucking hip hop fucking purists who's still stuck in 1998 with all this mumble rap SoundCloud shit is bullshit. No, it's just not for you. It's aimed at a younger fucking audience,
Yeah,
and a modern day audience. Whereas like it's there's nothing wrong with like this new shit just because it's fucking new, which is like what I feel like you're getting at in a way. It's not exactly what you're saying, but it's just how I'm perceiving what you're saying. Whereas like my shit is built on like Kingdom Hearts was such a major part of so many fucking people's lives, and like past all the getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back to like if you played Kingdom Hearts as a child, you saw the fucking like trailer or like gameplay videos for Kingdom Hearts 3 and you were fucking amped. You were like, fuck yes, this is like I've been waiting for I've gone through puberty, I've been waiting for fucking like for years to play this fucking game. And then just it disappeared. No one fucking talked about it afterwards. It's absurd. It's the only game I can think of that took longer to be fucking made was that shitty Duke Nukem game, and that game fucking sucked.
Duke Nukem, holy shit.
That game took what 17 years to come out.
But I feel like at the same time, they
not
didn't
even
have much to live
like
up
17 years to like from like this game to this. It was in production for 17
And
years,
it was
which
a
is
disappointment.
which is
Goddamn, it was a
absurd.
disappointment.
It's so absurd, but like it's strange that just like it had this fucking game franchise had such an effect on so many fucking people and built this fucking storyline over not just Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 but the games in between with like Chain of Memories and fucking like the 1.5 remix shit and like the fucking I don't remember which one was the one with the card game, but that game was fucking fun as fuck. But like it builds was it Chain of Memories? Alright, yeah. It builds all this fucking story that like
Hello?
like I really expected the ending for this game to be fucking spoiled a week after it came out. Didn't fucking happen. I thought that was so absurd. I really expected the internet to be flooded with like fucking gameplay videos. Didn't fucking happen. It's so fucking strange that like for something that for the longest time was what everyone was waiting for. I know people like didn't even really play video games, but played like Kingdom Hearts 2, had no fucking desire to get a fucking PS4, but saw they were finally releasing it. Like, gotta get a PS4, gotta get that Kingdom Hearts. Like, I need that. And then like, just it's absurd. Like, it's like, who to fucking. I know it's completely off topic, but it's like that new fucking Tool album. After waiting 10 years, if that Tool album came out, and no one fucking talked about it.
You're wrong.
How am I wrong? Like it's the exact same. It's so absurd. If that Tool album had came out and nobody fucking talked about it, that's the same thing as Kingdom Hearts coming out after 13 years and no one fucking talking about it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if no one just fucking like, it doesn't make. Like, it's so hard to wrap your head around.
I mean, not
the fact
talking
that,
about it's one thing. People were talking about Star Wars Battlefront when it came out, and it was all bad. Like, this is, like I said, it was a game that, like, at least yours wasn't just made as a fucking, like, released, like, half a game for a movie tie-in. And, like...
Yeah, but your game was just released in for people that like Star Wars.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's a game for that genre. It's a game for the Star Wars people. So overhyped maybe in their world,
Kudos
but
for
not in
you for
every
finding
house.
a way to.
You can
like,
say that about.
kudos to you for finding a way to like argue Star Wars for almost every debate.
Well, Kingdom Hearts is a game for people who like Kingdom Hearts. You could say that about anything except
No, Kingdom
that
Hearts
because
is a fucking game for people that love fucking like the drama and tension of this fucking story built over fucking time and a story that you grew up with, tied in.
your
with
game
all
has
these,
a story.
with all, yeah, it does.
Good for you.
It has all these fucking
They own Star Wars now too, though, right? Disney does.
yeah.
So I mean, they'll be in the next one.
There's not a next
Star-
one.
Next one.
The next Kingdom Hearts.
There's not a next one,
It's Disney.
There
There's
could
next ones
be.
forever.
but there's not.
Could be.
No, there's
Well,
not.
maybe not for Square, but
But like, yeah, it takes all these fucking characters from various fucking media forms that like, oh, you don't like Disney, but you fucking love fucking Final Fantasy VIII. It's got characters from that. Oh, you don't like RPGs, but like, you've always wanted to know what it's like to hang out with the Little Mermaid or fucking Mulan or like all these Disney properties.
I mean, there's plenty of other Disney
It has
games that
like
can do that.
so much fucking shit and like so many fucking elements that it's just absurd that like it came out and just disappeared. Like it, I really can't wrap my fucking head around that. Like after 10 years, or not 10 years, after 13 years, like there's an entire generation of people born in between that fucking game, and like it's strange. Like it just doesn't.
This is
I
the
don't
most
fucking
I've
know.
ever heard Chris talk during any debate, and it's the least I've heard Kyle talk during any debate. I just want to throw that out there.
It's true. No, I mean, I actually agree with that. What did Kyle pick?
Star Wars.
Oh.
Battlefront.
So, is it closing
Of
argument
course, no,
time?
just stop.
I hope.
Unless you guys have
Wait, the
anything else
remake?
you want to add, because
Yeah,
like
2015
down
stuff.
stuff.
I'm going to add it to my
Star Wars
closing.
for every
Okay, yeah.
question.
So if you guys want to do closings, then
Okay, so again, I think we got a little bit pigeonholed right there about gameplay and even who the game was built for and things like that. I want to really pull back and look at just the actual question at hand, which is the most overhyped. And the way that you prove the most overhyped is what game had the most hype, aka posts, word of mouth, commercials, etc. And I don't think it even comes close to those compared to Fortnite. I mean, maybe those games did have some hype to the Disney crowd and to the Star Wars crowd, but Fortnite is by far the most overhyped. Fortnite has, he said, a meme society, has memes everywhere still right now. It has, like I said, even at like probably middle school dances, they're playing like Fortnite music, and those kids are doing the dances. You're getting hyped at the dance thing. Fortnite has commercials. They have their own clothing line. You can go buy the clothes, and this gets really crazy. You can even buy like dog bowls and dog collars that have Fortnite shit printed on it. You're gonna see Halloween costumes. All of you are gonna go to a party at some point this Halloween, and there's gonna be some fucking douchebag dressed as one of these characters. And
I will be that guy.
Yeah.
I've never played it before. I don't
So,
know how to floss.
You know, we talked about the gameplay of all these games. I mean, you know, whatever. Kingdom Hearts sounds like a personal journey for Chris. Sounds like a guy that was like really, he was looking forward to it. I don't know if the nation as a whole was looking for it as much as he was looking forward to it. Star Wars always gets the hype because it's Star Wars, so it gets the hype from the Star Wars crowd. If you're not in the Star Wars crowd, you can think of that about anything, whether it's the movies or whether it's the video games. This Fortnite shit infects every household, and goddamn, if you're a parent that has put your credit card in there because you have to, it's gonna infect that also, which is another shitty thing about Fortnite. But again, the most overhyped. There's nothing that compares to all of the clothes and the commercials and everything you see on the internet, etc. So that's why I choose Fortnite.
All right. As far as like the Star Wars Battlefront being overhyped, I really unfamiliar with the game, unfamiliar with like the gameplay or anything like that, or just anything really about the game. So I can't even really say too much about that. Other than it's a Star Wars game. It's for people that are into Star Wars. There's not much more crossover than that. With Fortnite, in my mind, like most overhyped game is like when they hype something like, oh shit, this game's coming out, it's gonna be fucking great. There wasn't really a hype for Fortnite until Fortnite was released, and then it just became a cultural phenomenon of itself. I don't see that as being overhyped. I see that as just being something that kids gravitated towards and kids really enjoy doing. I mean, I place that in the same fucking bucket as I place fucking Overwatch in a way. I don't understand or really follow that game, but I don't think it's a shitty game just because it's a new fucking game and it's like something that's fresh and for like newer audiences, where I feel like Fortnite is that game that was aimed at getting kids into playing video games. With my game, once again, 13-year wait for it to just come out and kind of trickle out and not be mentioned. But there was so much hype built around it being released that people bought consoles to play it. People, like, just waited for fucking years. There were so many E3s of them previewing this game, and oh wait, we gotta like fucking take it back because like Disney bought this property. We gotta like figure out a way to like wormhole this into, and then like there's not the replay value of it as there are in the previous games of the series. It's kind of just, it came out, people played it, not enough to recommend it to anyone they know. And it just kind of fizzled and it trickled, and I don't understand how, like, due to the massive fan base, how it wasn't more of a fucking thing after its release.
My turn?
Yeah.
So, okay, so we're talking about the most overhyped game. So, we have to do two things here. We have to establish the hype, and we have to determine why it's overhyped, why it doesn't deserve that hype, okay? So, with Fortnite, like, I don't think, I think you're talking about, like, the marketing. Like, you want to talk costumes and shit like that? I mean, fucking Star Wars. Like, no one pays $1,000 for a fucking costume from Fortnite. And, I mean, you could fact check me on that, I guess, but I can't really see that. I mean, sure, they're probably cosplayers and stuff, but, like, you can cosplay anything and spend $5,000 on it if you want to. Like, as far as, like, fucking Halloween costumes and shit like that. Like, and your other argument is that, you're bad at not dying compared to other people who play it. Like, I mean, it's a popular game because it's free, but and maybe it's just that I've not heard as much, but like, other than like, 15-year-old kids who are just excited about shooting each other in the face for free, like, I've not heard anybody say like, oh man, Fortnite's the best game ever, and like, it's another first-person shooter, but it's at least a complete game. Mine isn't. And I think with mine and Chris's arguments, we're both talking about highly anticipated games. So we have hype with both of these. Highly anticipated games that, fans, diehard fans of these universes are looking forward to, sure. But then you explained that your hype died down, but that doesn't mean it didn't deserve the hype. People played it and didn't recommend it and didn't talk about it anymore. And, like, I feel like just because people stopped talking about it doesn't mean it didn't deserve the hype. In the case of Star Wars Battlefront, like I said, we both had highly anticipated games. And with Star Wars Battlefront, like I said, it was a half of a game. You had a few maps. And then, you talked about, eating up your credit card. That's what EA's here to do with any EA game these days. So they give you half a game. They expect you to pay for the rest after you already paid $60 or more for the fucking Steelbook. Actually, I got a deal on the Steelbook, but but it's like half a game that you waited 6 years for. And they rushed. Well, I don't even know that they rushed it. I'm sure it was probably planned that they timed it to come out and cash in on the hype from the movie. And everything about it that it's a first person shooter, and everything. Not even just that you expect from a Star Wars Battlefront game, but everything you expect from any just run-of-the-mill first-person shooter. Hell, even from Fortnite, which is free, you don't get in full effect in Star Wars Battlefront. Like this game, like I've explained why it's bad, like, and why it didn't deserve the hype, and with like I said, with your game, I think it's, you know, you're talking about just lots of marketing, sure, and it's popular, and people jump around a lot, and it's hard to play. And in yours, like, people just stop talking about it. Mine was hyped, and it was fucking bad, and it was a cash grab.
Okay. So I might have to agree with Kyle that both Chris's and his game had the most hype out of the three. Just because Fortnite had hype, but it's like just because it's popular, not because like anticipation for the game. But I think I have to agree with Chris that his game was the more overhyped game because after waiting 13 years and then just like you hear nothing about a game that everyone's been waiting for except like kind of negative things. Like you said, people didn't even finish the game after 13 years for like this anticipated sequel. I'm gonna have to give him the point for the question.
I'm doing much better at this than I expected.
You're just talking so much tonight. It's weird.
And a side note, sorry, on Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
The problem it has is, I mean, the same problem that the 2 and 1 had. It's just, you know, it's an old formula in a new generation, but it's a short story and there's no replayability.
Yeah.
That's why
I mentioned
There
that.
was a
did.
question on maps. Fortnite has 20, Battlefront has 12.
Fortnite has 20
Well,
maps.
I don't think
And
they
none of
had
y'all
all
got
that
Mulan
original.
World.
That's I think that's counting DLC.
Probably,
Yeah.
but I mean,
I mean, I don't know about Fortnite. Obviously, that might be DLC maps and stuff too.
and
I'm gonna go ahead and say it though. Fortnite is the Post Malone of video games.
No one asked for this.
he discovered Quake.
I want to put my
Oh.
2 cents in too.
you hated
Matt,
Fortnite, but it's better
one,
now.
one more fact, because I really gotta pee. Kingdom Hearts 3 was originally announced E3 2013.
Really?
Well, see, that's what I was gonna say. I don't. You guys don't strike me as anybody that plays racing games. We used to a lot. Like me and my brother used to love fucking racing games.
Like Mario Kart.
Right. That's not a racing game.
Yeah,
Are
it
you
is,
fucking
motherfucker.
serious?
See here you go.
Everything you have to say, I don't
Bonus
care, 'cause you just said Mario
debate!
Kart is not a racing game. It's in the fucking name.
Gran Turismo 5 was super hyped. It took 4 fucking ever to come out. And it was supposed to be visually the most realistic game ever. And it was. But it fucking sucked. It's like, I don't want to buy a Honda Civic for $10,000 and put shocks on it. And then drive that thing around the racetrack and be boring as hell.
Well, I mean,
but
I think all the. I mean, I really like.
I love the
Gran
first
Turismo.
2.
I really like Gran Turismo 4 a lot.
But it
Yeah.
was
But
like it took so long for
all
that to
of them
come
are kind
out.
of
It
like
was
that.
like
It's more realistic.
They turned it into such a simulation that it's like put shocks on it. Those will cost you $5,000. It's like I don't feel like fucking. It's just tedious.
Outside of Mario Kart, I think
That's
there's
why it
only
was,
been
like,
one
hyped
racing
and
game.
let down.
I really
It looked
enjoyed.
beautiful,
That's
though.
Need for
It
Speed
did.
Hot Pursuit, which was a PS1 game, maybe.
Yeah.
I was a bigger fan of the Underground series.
I
I
like the Need for Speed too. I was gonna say when you guys had it earlier, like the EA games, franchise it. Like if it would have been franchise that went downhill, Need for Speed, because the first couple
For sure.
were awesome. First few, 3, 4, but then it just went like shit.
I'm a slut for the N64, so my answers are always like N64 based. So I love San Francisco Rush as
Same.
far as that shit
God,
goes.
you're
Same.
Sonic Adventure 2 is
N64
the
is my
superior
favorite.
it's
racing
not
game.
a racing game.
Crash
It's
Team
weird 'cause,
Racing.
like I'm such a diehard Sega person.
Diddy
64
Kong
Those are my
Racing.
two favorite consoles.
I'm a little behind on the
Social.
yeah.
Is there social?
Yeah.
There's a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
Bev said Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or 2 on the fighting game.
I almost
question.
chose that
I
one.
would-
I backspace it out of my message to you.
I would have said Killer Instinct.
Then he said or Melee.
I thought about that.
Street Fighter greater than Mortal Kombat. He then said, I would pay so much for Marvel 4, even Marvel 3 again with 12 new characters. He sent a picture of a fox.
What does it say?
Did it say
The Fox.
Did it say no?
Show me-
Based on his facial expression, I don't think
Apparently,
he gets the reference.
Dylan was the only person who was on the internet 3 years
No,
ago.
I got it.
Uh,
I was just more perplexed that Matt is what?
Yeah, I'm confused. I'm also. I haven't eaten and I'm drunk. Yeah.
Dude, do you have any more beer?
How'd that happen? I didn't even see
Give me more
drink
beer.
beers.
Yeah.
If we
I think it's
drink
over there,
beers
beer.
online though,
Oh, he's got beers.
we're gonna get demonetized.
Brittany, who we work with, says serious debating going on. Rainer asked what the score is, and I gave me an idea, Chris. We have a lot of empty space up here.
Yeah.
On various questions.
Have a
Can we
constant
have
scoreboard.
the score on just the?
Yeah, I definitely do that in the future. Yeah.
So what is the score?
1-2-0.
1-3-0.
1-3-0. Yeah.
Damn.
You're the
Yeah.
judge too, dude.
Yeah. You want to judge?
Deep down, he always does.
Please
yes.
don't make us do that.
He has no room to judge.
I really don't. I mean, you guys can judge me all you want. I don't give a shit.
So is this the part where we make up a game?
It was gonna be that, but instead of going back to Fortnite and it being a battle royale, we're doing that, but with video game characters. And I'm gonna have you guys pull a video game character out of a cup and fight over it. So
Okay.
Like actually fight.
yeah, I'm gonna have them
I'm gonna.
fight.
Can we
right
bet
now.
on this?
We have to cosplay as our characters.
Yes.
So it's essentially like whatever character we draw, why that character would win.
Paul
Yeah.
David took all my money actually earlier.
Of course he did.
I would have.
So if you guys
Yeah.
wanna get up, get drinks, bathroom, whatever.
It reminds me of that other show that's kind of like this show, but I'm not going to say the name of the show. But there was a
Famous
question.
person kill fight.
But there was a question on one of those that was like, who would win in a fight, and one of the questions or one of the answers was John Wick. Somebody else I don't remember, but and then Tum Tum from the Three Ninjas. And this dude gave this beautiful fucking argument and won about how Tum Tum would totally kill John Wick, and it was one of the most amusing things I've ever seen.
All right.
Oh man, fuck!
Why are you saying fuck?
'Cause I don't even like this character.
Well, this is the option I'm going to give you. I don't know who my character is. Literally no clue. So
Well, you can look it up.
Yeah,
Right?
you
Yeah, you
can-
guys
I
can
can-
look
I can-
it up. Like, if you guys
Okay.
need to.
I don't know who this is, but I'll
I'll give you guys a few minutes to do
Okay.
that, and then.
So
I thought this was
curious.
just gonna be like them fighting.
I mean, we can still have them fight.
Rainer says, "Come to 26th Street Drinkery and sing songs."
Where is that at?
It's
Well,
it's
six.
behind the gas station over there by. I know exactly where it is. I've been there before. He wants to sing karaoke badly.
Behind like that Speedway zone?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
On 3rd. I think it's right. 3rd? Yeah. Right. 3rd runs this way. It's kind of like Kroger. It's a bar.
I don't
It's
know
a
how
bar.
you get home.
Huh?
I don't know how you get home.
Mhm.
Uber.
How I'm going to?
How you just
Point
do.
proven.
Usually Uber or I crawl. I've crawled before. I literally have.
You haven't
Um,
noticed the
Kyle
mattress
Perry
here?
Kyle,
He's
yeah,
on
Kyle, you remember.
There was crawling.
There was.
Eventually
He-
get back up. but-
He helped me.
Colin, will you hand me a beverage?
Yes.
No, but like, I mean, years ago too, before Kyle was in the mix.
Wait,
What
I really
style of
appreciate
game
that
is this?
night. Really appreciate that
No
night.
problem, buddy.
But no, there was literally a night that I like crawled.
I mean, I can argue
like,
it. I just don't
crawled
want
from
to.
the V Club.
It's one of those things where, like, in any game where I've had the choice of picking that person, that's not the person I would pick
Me,
ever.
probably. No, it's
Nigga,
fine.
I'm talking about some other shit, man.
This shit,
Don't call me nigga.
You don't get to say that.
Makes me sad, man.
Audience, he's off camera.
I'm not even-
You don't know his
You
ethnicity.
don't know my ethnicity. You don't know me, bitch.
You don't know me, nigga. God, that reminds me of that great fucking Jane's Addiction and fucking Body Count cover. But I'm not gonna sing that. It's a hard R, and I don't want to get taken off.
Well, Chris, I'm sorry for calling you the N-word.
You didn't.
This would be a whole different atmosphere if that had happened.
You asked to not yourself be called the N-word.
It's also not the goddamn N-word.
It is if we're on the air, damn it.
We don't have time for this. But
I'll give you guys like another.
For a
let's see, another
PSA.
minute.
But yeah, what kind
Sorry.
of game is this? Like, was
What
is
do you
this like? Is this more
We're
of
fighting them
a?
against each other, I think.
Yeah, but is this like
So you guys are like locked in like a dome.
all three on one or 3-on-1? Like
It's like
Yeah,
1v1
free for all.
v1.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
If this channel was making money, we're definitely demonetized now.
we're not
Yeah.
making money.
No, I know. So it's all good, right?
Yeah.
I've been seeing you guys get more views. Like, every time I see it pop
So
up.
is it
in
like
my
who
subscription feed,
beats
I've
the
been
other, or
seeing
who
views.
climbs the ladder and gets the briefcase first?
Yeah, not a lot of people watch as it happens, but I feel like more go and skip around.
We're immortalizing.
I like the format of streaming to YouTube a bit more, but like the viewership live occurs higher on like Facebook, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just need a second camera set up to do that.
Like, Even
I
what
feel
Brian
like
was saying
though,
earlier,
if we
like-
did that, people might not go watch
the
the
YouTube.
YouTube.
That's true.
well,
I think at some point we should rip all the episodes and burn them onto a DVD.
Just put them on VHS.
yeah, VHS. I was gonna say.
SLP.
Let's learn how to make laser discs.
No, mini.
Yeah,
mini,
honestly,
like
if you
the
put
mini
it in
discs.
SLP format, we could probably
The
fit
mini
every
discs.
episode on one take. But it would be such shit quality.
Already is.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty good.
Pop it
No,
in. It's like,
no, it looks great.
what in the snuff film's going on here?
It looks way.
The-
It used to look like a snuff film. It looks way better than that.
Yeah.
Now it looks like a low quality pornography.
But no, actually, one of the VCRs I have in there, if we were to copy everything onto a DVD disc, it would transfer over. It's,
The good thing about this
I'm
too
taking
is
a picture, and while you guys are doing nothing, there's someone can come and show you the picture.
Where'd you get
Is
that?
Is that the Beatles?
Is
it
that
going
the
to Beatles?
It's not, but it's funny.
It
I
really
mean,
does.
Yeah.
Are you just looking out
You
the
got the
window?
little canvas in it.
That's rad,
like
though.
the wall.
what is it?
It's a street.
It's an intersection.
that's
Where's the torn down house?
It's not out.
It's implied.
Okay, listen. It's like 10th Avenue or 10th Street and 4th Avenue.
I really like it, but is it a coaster?
No, bitch, it's a
Tiny little
canvas.
canvas.
Oh,
Look at the tiny-
shit!
Yeah.
You could use it as
Any
a
social
coaster,
before
though.
we
I'm not gonna
start.
do it.
No, I wouldn't.
Is it based on a photo?
Bev said, I open the YouTube and click like even if I don't watch it.
Thank you,
Now
Beverage.
then.
Everybody, do that, please.
That's like if you know anyone that has a buddy of yours or anybody that has music on Spotify, a little tip to hook up your friends. Pull up your Spotify, mute that shit while you're sleeping, put that shit on repeat.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
There you go. Just do it. Just to do it.
Okay. So
Back to the game.
Okay, I'm going back upstairs.
since
Your painting is lovely.
I liked it a lot actually.
we'll go in reverse order for this. So if you guys want to just say who you got, then go into whoever would win. So Kyle, you can start.
So just say my person, and then we'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. I got Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Holy shit.
That's as soon as I was handed that cup. That's like I was like, I hope he's a fucking character. Now when he comes out of that cup. Are we allowed to just make up moves, or does it have to be based on a move, based on like another game or anything?
If it's more accurate to what the character would do, it'd probably help. But
But like, it doesn't have to be a set established. Like,
yeah.
Okay. I got the king of the Koopas himself, Bowser.
Nice.
I got Gordon Freeman from Half-Life.
Yeah, I would have to Google that too.
Are you fucking serious?
Why don't you swallow that cigarette and fucking
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
So
so
here's
much
the thing.
shit to say
Solid
about
Snake.
this, but-
You would be. There's a good chance you would be dead before you even knew he was around. There's just a fucking random cardboard box hanging out. He's fucking hiding in the bushes, sniped, dead. Forget about it. He's over there eating a snake before your fucking body hits the ground, man. Like Bowser. Like, he's got a shell. Sniper
maybe
bullets
not
go
even
through shells.
Solid Snake. Maybe like fucking like Big Boss, maybe. But like Solid Snake's a little weaker than people give him credit for. Also, at this point, like how canon are we going? Are we going like MG1 or like current modern day like Snake, like Old Man Snake? Are we going like?
Well, there's different snakes too.
Yeah, I know,
We
but
could
I'm
be-
saying like modern like the like newest like fucking was it Metal Gear 5 or 4?
When I think of Solid Snake, I think of Metal Gear Solid. Like
I mean, it's the same Snake in 5 though. I'm pretty sure. He's just an old man. He's run down and busted. And he's got an eye patch. So I was just curious which Snake you got. Like, given I think Bowser could.
I mean, he could probably still kill you, but I'm thinking of Solid Snake as we.
Given
as we
I'm pretty
know
sure
it.
like
His
Bowser
legacy.
with his fucking like. Because the thing about Bowser is he's a mischievous little bastard. Like, not only is he the fucking man, he's like 7 to maybe 8 feet tall. If
He's
we were to
big, fat, and slow.
Right? And he flies around in a fucking cup.
Like,
He's
Yeah,
just
that's
he's a
dope.
sitting duck.
he's got a hard fucking exterior that's just gonna pink off
Bullets.
those bullets. They're just
No,
gonna pink
sniper
off-
bullets, 50 cal.
They're gonna pink off his fucking. That's like saying like you can take down a fucking T-Rex with a fucking sniper bullet. Like, no, that's not happening.
I wish I would have done what you did and drew a name and tried to take a point from you all.
But like it's fucking no, like, and your dude. I'm assuming your dude has like some sort of like body armor mech suit
That's exactly
type shit.
right. So you can shoot me with a gun, but I'm gonna absorb up to 80% of that every time that you shoot me. So you better. I don't fucking know. You better headshot me quick because I'm absorbing all your blows, and I also have a gun. I've got multiple weapons.
But you can't hide in a fucking mech. Metal Gear or Solid Snake, you're not even. There's a good chance you're not even going to see him. In the
Yeah,
fucking Battle Dome.
Bowser's gonna take
This
that
is like
cardboard
this is
box.
like
and
the
he's gonna
Hunger
fucking
Games
set it on
Battle
fire.
Dome right now.
He's gonna set that cardboard box on fire.
Well, it doesn't have to be a cardboard box.
And we're in a battle fucking dome. Like you have a stealth based dude. Like
Yeah. Have you ever seen Hunger Games? That's a
no,
dome.
I haven't. Seen, I
Battle Dome.
haven't seen the Hungry Kids.
The Hungry Kids.
I'm hungry.
Like I'm unfamiliar with that franchise
shit.
because Battle
Plus-
Royale.
Not only that, it's like with Solid Snake, I don't know how far we could really go, but like Solid Snake could call in fucking air support and just bust through the fucking dome and gun you down.
So,
like-
shit. Bowser got air support too. You got the Hammer Bros.
He's got that sun.
Endless
Yeah, like-
fucking hammers,
Yeah.
endless pixelated hammers, fucking flying.
Well, we'll just stick with like just straight up 1v1 no support, but still though, like I said, Bowser's a sitting duck in there, and I mean, Solid Snake can have like explosives to blow your fucking suit apart, like it's just Solid Snake kills fucking he kills robots for fun, man. Your mech ain't gonna do shit,
Kill
right?
It's kind of what he does.
My guy's also always armed with a crowbar, so if I shoot Bowser down and you're saying the bullets can't affect him, I can still crowbar your ass open. I can fucking crack your shell off. And if you are hitting me, I'm gonna absorb 80% of what you're hitting me with, so I'm gonna fucking crowbar your shell off before you can
Yeah,
kill
because
me.
here's the
almost.
thing about both of our characters: they're not this little princess. That's the only people he really attacks, and
He's a woman beater.
and he defends himself from Mario. He doesn't go looking for Mario, and that guy's just big.
No, okay. If we want to get down to the bare brass of it, Mario is really the villain in the situation. You can't kidnap somebody that don't want to be kidnapped that many times. Peach and Bowser are an item. Mario's a fucking psychopath and a fucking stalker that keeps just tracking this girl down.
Well, then she needs to be straight up with him, man.
She is. She super is. That's
She shouldn't dress like that.
like.
But Bowser's romantic life isn't going to help you in the Battle Dome, man. Welcome to Thunderdome, bitch.
I'm just saying,
Getting
like,
shot from both sides. You can't try to go
eventually y'all gonna
And
run
you
out of
can't-
bullets, and
you
I
can't
still got
miss.
that pure fucking power. I
You
still got
can't-
that strength. I got that hard exterior shell,
Like,
and I got the sweet fucking mohawk, fucking red hair, flaming fucking shit. I'm a fucking dragon. I don't know why I got a turtle shell on, but I'm a fucking dragon at the end of the day.
A dragon that can't be missed. He's a giant, like it's like hitting the broadside of a barn, man.
And your only advantage in this fight is if we happen to be fighting in a goddamn cardboard box factory.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's wearing fucking. That was half of a joke, man. Because obviously, Metal Gear Solid cardboard box is the best this guy's ever. No, but this dude is a fucking. He's a fucking like special ops soldier basically, and like he sneak up on like he can sneak around, and that's what he does. He's a stealthy bastard. You know what I mean?
See,
You can't
it's-
sneak around
It's
in a fucking
unfortunate.
mech.
It's unfortunate that like
Or the
had you-
giant
you-
turtle dinosaur.
It's unfortunate that you went with like MG1 Snake. Had you gone with MG5 Snake, you kind of could have had it because he has the whole like fucking stealth cloaking suit. That shit's tight. That shit really fights. Just fucking stealth shit, snap a neck. Like that's where it's at. But like right now, you got like Snake is only great in Metal Gear 1 because all the guards are fucking idiots. What was that?
Metal Gear Solid one. Metal Gears.
Yeah, well, true. Okay. So, MGS one.
Right.
But, like, what was that? Just a box. Like, fuck that shit. Like, Bowser is just gonna, like, if he sees a cardboard box, he's stepping on it. He's the fucking king.
That's not his only method of stealth. He'd be hiding behind a corner. He'd be hiding in the bushes. You never know. This couch might be Metal Gear, or like might be fucking Solid Snake right now.
Can I change it to Bowser from the fucking movie?
Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper in a fly ass suit with his weird fucking.
You know something
I'm
else
Bowser,
about Bowser.
motherfucker.
Something else about Bowser. He clearly has the lowest IQ of the three fighters as
Oh,
well.
sure.
You know, Bowser reminds me of like that dog that eats his own dog shit. Like he's probably that smart. You know what I mean? Like.
No, man, Bowser is a fucking criminal mastermind. That's why he's always in another castle. Sorry. Actually, it's the princess that's in another castle. But he
just
got
a
mad castles.
Big dumb. Got mad. He's just a big dumb brute.
Bowser might not win this fight, but he'll steal your girl. So,
And that's winning.
And destroy your entire government.
That could be a potential closer right there.
Hell
That's good.
yeah. Shit.
You guys can go in the final statements if you guys think you want
Yeah.
to.
So,
shit, I'll go first. He's a fucking dragon. He's got that brute force. He might be a bit slower than like the other opponents, but like. I don't know. I don't really have much to say. Alright, it's fucked up that these motherfuckers were able to pull out protagonists out of their fucking cup. I got a dude that has like, no matter how good he is, he has nothing but a fucking loss record. Like, it's unfortunate. Like,
Dude, but he'll steal your fucking girl, though.
yeah, I
At
mean,
the
he
end of the
will.
day,
He
the other
will.
one's
But this
wall.
is a fucking
He'll hurt your
death
feelings
fight.
because it takes your girlfriend.
I'll be next.
Yeah.
So if we were fucking go-karting, you might have a chance just because you can bump people out of the way, but he's still slow. In this battle dome, Bowser doesn't stand a chance. You can you talk about him being impervious to bullets. Like even if I gave you that, we got explosives. But in the game, you can literally kill him by jumping on him, depending on which game you're talking about. I mean, you want to avoid the back if he's the spiked version. But just dunk on the head. Just the grenade doesn't even have to blow up. You just throw it just right, and Bowser's out of commission. With your guy, I think in part you have kind of you're not as big and slow as Bowser, but you're a mech. You're not going to be able to hide. Like I said, Solid Snake. He might win. He might kill you both before anybody even sees him. Okay. Unless this is just one big flat floor and we're all seeing there's no obstacles, there's no nothing. Because if there is, Solid Snake is either going to put a sniper bullet between your eyes or he's going to have explosives. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's a no-brainer. He's going to kill. He doesn't even have to bring guns to jump on Bowser. He could just jump off your mech and onto Bowser, and it's over for him.
I wish I would have put this in my closing, but you like to play Castlevania.
Castlevania's dope.
No, it's just the Psycho Mantis fight.
Oh, word.
You like to play Castlevania.
Yeah. And like I said, like, you know, Solid Snake basically kills robots for fun. So, like, you know, the mech is not going to be that big, as much of a chore as it may be for fucking Bowser or maybe somebody else. So, you know, it's all over for both you guys whenever Solid Snake steps into the fucking arena.
That would have been fucking dope.
So, you're distracting me, man. Stop. I'm trying to read these also. I agree. Bowser is a moot point. He's just gonna get fucking blown out first. I don't even want to really argue about Bowser. That one's a no-brainer. Like I said, if he is impervious to bullets, well, I've got other ways, just like he's got other ways to still defeat Bowser, so I'm not worried about Bowser, as mentioned before. So, in your version, Kyle, your guy, he can hide behind all of these things because you've created them in your Battle Dome. And in my Battle Dome, those things aren't there. So, my argument is just the opposite of yours. We are on a flat piece of land, so you can't morph behind these things that you're talking about. You can't stealth yourself. So in my version, it's simply a gunfight at this point. We're a gunfight against each other, except my guy is wearing this vest that is taking 80% of all your blows, and you don't have that kind of armor that I have. And also, what happens in a gunfight eventually? One of us is going to run out of bullets eventually. And if we do run out of bullets, I've got other ways to take your guy down also. And you know, you may have said, well, your guy has, you know, explosives or this or that. Well, let's just say you run out of all your stuff. I've got a crowbar at the end of the day. I'm a smart human. My guy is. He will find ways to still get it done. And he's got that magical vest, man. I mean, the vest is even greater than the stealth, in my opinion, because the stealth for yours requires there to be objects for you to stealth around. So Gordon Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
God, fuck off. Why always after me?
I'm upset that I looked through the rest of the cup and I somehow managed to draw the only villain, the only non-protagonist in the cup.
Yeah, I put one kind of like dud in there, and then the rest of them were like.
Had I gotten Mario, I could have like a better argument. So at least he has a track record of being a winner.
My favorite part of Chris's argument is just halfway through, he just gets mad at his own character. He's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck Bowser, that piece of shit, and then just starts shitting on him the whole time.
Right, like you said earlier that you liked Counter-Strike a lot. It's fucking Half-Life. That is Gordon Freeman. That's the game.
It's been a really long time since
I know, but I mean,
I did love Counter-Strike though.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Brian for this, just because he argued the utility of his character pretty well versus like a one-on-one fight with Snake, and then also.
Can I
thought you were gonna say something about him shooting fireballs though, and you didn't say anything.
Can I just say I pulled the?
I mean, he's a dragon.
Jokingly pulled the golden ticket out of that cup after they drew.
Master Chief.
Doom Guy
Doom
would
Guy.
kick the shit out of all of your guys at the same time.
no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gordon.
It's Carl Urban.
Gordon fucking Freeman, at the end of Half-Life 2, when you get the ultimate gravity gun, you can pick up houses and throw that shit at fucking
You can pick
people.
up cars. Doom Guy can shove a shotgun up Satan's ass, literally, and blow him into the fucking ceiling.
Can he live after you pick up a house and throw it at him?
Probably.
I don't think so.
Can he?
They threw all of hell at him, and he's still kicking.
Okay, so on a side note, did anybody here actually play Half-Life 2 online when it came out?
No, I don't play video games.
Okay, for PC,
I mean, I don't.
for
I
PC,
used to.
it was 6 discs back in the day when it came out, and it was one of the
That's some Final Fantasy shit right
it
there.
was one of the most like good-looking games that was out at the time.
Why don't you marry it?
I would fucking marry Morgan Freeman. But when they when they actually got the Half-Life 2, Half-Life 1 was always Counter-Strike or Team Fortress, and you'd instantly get shot with a sniper rifle, basically. I mean, that was it. You'd spawn and get sniped. Both of those were the same.
I wish I would have
So
drawn.
they came out with the second one, which had way better graphics, different levels. They deleted that's not mine. They deleted the sniper rifle completely. They only had a 357 Magnum, which you would also instantly get shot in the head with. It had open sights. But everything else
Why
in
didn't you
there
volunteer for
was the
the
gravity
video
gun
game?
though. Like
Very
you,
adamant
yeah,
all the time.
you would
Filled
see
up a lot of
You
but-
clearly play more games than I do. Why didn't you
Everyone
do
on this couch.
You would,
actually.
but it was just ridiculous. Like you couldn't even play it. Like I
You
would
filled
log
up
in.
the time
I
slot.
would get into a room and all you would see is everybody just using the gravity gun because you could just pick shit out of the floor. And it was like toilets and shit
How much
just
does one
being
cost?
like it
It's
looked
free.
like a tornado.
Really?
And you'd
Yeah,
run
it's
around
called
and get
access.
hit
They
with
charge you
shit.
for that.
It was great.
Oh, it's
It
like
was funny.
if we also did this as a public access show.
Oh, we
it
couldn't
was
say
kind
fuck.
of it.
Yeah, we couldn't say shit or fuck or drink.
You what?
We couldn't say shit or fuck or
As a
drink.
public access show?
Yeah.
What the fuck was Let's Paint TV then?
Well, I think that's.
I mean, he
people
wasn't drinking
calling
alcohol.
in. People calling in were cussing.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
I mean,
He did at some points.
nobody can tell this is alcohol.
Yeah,
Just
and he
put it
got
in the
fucking
cups.
fined for it.
You what?
I said he
I-
got fined for it.
Oh.
I figured out the phone timers, so we're good on that whenever you're ready.
Okay. So for the first speed round question, I'm gonna go with best NES game.
And you ready for our answers now?
Yeah.
For the-
Oh man, I
I
don't.
can hear Jim
Wait,
screaming in the attic already.
Before this is what are the points now too? I'm
2
just
to
curious.
3, Kyle's out.
Kyle's out.
Fuck, I don't remember if this
Big
was
old
NES
today.
or SNES.
For
I
the
can
people at
fact check.
home,
Yeah.
if this is your first viewing,
So
the
can
ma-
I
the
throw it
main
out? And if
round's
it's
over.
not, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
alright.
you throw it out and it's not right, then it'll be still open.
okay, fucking Zombies Ate My Neighbors, but I'm pretty sure it's SNES.
That is SNES.
Um,
I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna go
Zombies
with
Ate My
Mike Tyson's
Neighbors.
Punch Out.
Okay.
Who's looking up?
Super Nintendo. Yeah.
Fuck.
Okay. So he's got.
That was a great game though.
So now you can
So-
explain the rules, Matt.
yeah. Viewing at home, the main questions are
I was a fucking
done.
Sega kid.
They're getting a
Hey, a lot
they're
of
in
them
a
were
speed round. We
cross-platform.
played
Oh
a
fuck!
5,
I took that box upstairs. I have a box of
and
NES games.
So first to 5 wins. We're in the speed round. They have 30 seconds after they say their answers to make their point, and then they'll have a 15-second rebuttal after that. And then Dylan will award the point.
Super Mario.
Okay. So you got 30 seconds when you're ready.
Super Mario is the best NES game because it clearly jump-started a massive fucking franchise. It has a great fucking story, it introduced great fucking characters, and it became and introduced like the Nintendo flagship character. Without Super Mario, Nintendo would have been a floundering company. I don't think they would have been as majorly huge as they were. And it's just a fucking fun game. It's one of those games that people still play. There's still tons of fucking speed runs of that game. As far as Punch Out goes, it's just one of those.
Time.
Okay, so both of these NES games are classics, so we could just go in circles with the classics argument. That point is moot. Mike Tyson's Punch Out also has villains, characters that you have to take down, and that's one of the really cool things about it. Both of these games, I think you can just pick up. They're very user friendly, and that goes with it. I'm gonna go with the value on Mike Tyson's Punch Out, which is top shelf value, meaning when you go into a used video game store, Super Mario is gonna cost you $3, $5. Mike Tyson's Punch Out is gonna cost you $40.
Time.
I like the little ringtone. It's cute.
You're cute.
Thanks. Did my hair and everything for this. Not even on camera tonight.
Are you good for the 15?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's disgusting.
You're disgusting.
You sound like all of my ex-girlfriends.
We'll take a hint.
Fuck off, Brian.
Chris, are you up? Oh, okay. Someone paused Chris.
No, I was waiting for Corey to quit commenting so I can start talking. Alright, so Mike Tyson's Punch Out costing more in modern day than Mario is just due to the rarity of it, but there's so many copies of Mario out because it was such a massive game and people fucking played it and everyone fucking had that game. It's just it is the Nintendo game. You think of Nintendo, you think of Mario.
It could be argued that Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was one of the first games, and certainly the most popular game, to introduce an athlete superstar kind of guy that you have to face off at the end, which then spawned all kinds of games beyond that. So, and again, anyone can pick up Mike Tyson's Punch-Out and play it, take down all the different villains.
I have a fact. Super Mario Bros. Did not introduce the Nintendo flagship character.
Yeah, it was a
Mario.
character.
No, Mario and Luigi were both in Mario Bros. Before Super Mario Bros. And Mario was in Donkey Kong.
He was called something else though in that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I think it was called Plumber Guy or something.
Plumber Man.
Plumber Man. Something.
I don't know your judgment. I would definitely give that to Brian though.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Brian for that.
Halfway, I fucked up because you said fucking Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and all I could think was dun, 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 dun,
I want to say though, like it was a good argument, but like Mike Tyson's Punch Out is really can only be picked up by anyone in like the first couple of rounds because that game is fucking hard after a couple of fights, dude.
The Glass Joe,
I think-
show over, but once
Sure.
you get to like
I think the game being hard kind of
Piston
makes it a better
Honda or
game.
whatever.
The guy with the
Yeah.
fucking
The
rose.
second Piston Honda is
Oh,
the
yeah.
son of a
Al-
bitch.
What was his name? El Fuego
Yeah,
or
something
something?
like that.
Yeah.
Wait, whose name is Alfuego? What are we talking
I
about?
think the guy
with the
Spanish
rose.
guy with the rose
Yeah.
or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the Spanish stereotype,
Yeah.
not the Japanese.
Right. Which racial slur did you enjoy taking down Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
I liked hitting Glass Joe because he was white and easy.
I remember playing Shaq Fu with Patrick, and one of us was the Arab guy, and one of us was somebody else, and like there was a burning tower in the back, and I was like, "It's 9/11 the game."
Like the Arab guy had two swords too.
Yeah.
A turban.
Yeah.
Dude, this night has led to one thing. I'm certainly purchasing Shaq Fu on eBay when I get home. That's for damn sure for myself.
You should.
I'll dig through my dig through my game collection and
I came
you can
across
have that
the
and an
remake
SNES
for like
maybe
$8 at like
$200.
GameStop not too long ago.
Fuck off.
I'm bummed I didn't get it.
It's worth it. I've got two
But
working
I don't really game,
controllers.
so
original.
I didn't buy it.
So,
Actually, it was like $5, I think.
Next one would be best video game mascot.
Pikachu.
Best video game mascot, I will go. I will go Mario.
Thanks for that too.
Never. It's the Moogles. The Moogles, guys.
Ooh! Ooh!
Too late. Too
Yeah.
late.
Yeah.
The
Oh my god.
Moogles, guys.
No,
I would argue-
I could say the Moogles and use almost my exact argument I'm going to use for Pikachu.
I would argue
You,
Chocobos over Moogles. Man.
I'd say those two over Moogles.
Yeah.
No, I fucking love Moogles though.
What the hell is a Moogle?
Koopa. Koopa Koopa. Dude, my email when I went to college, my email was Koopa 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 at fucking the college. Like, I fucking love Moogles.
I don't know what it is.
Final Fantasy.
It's like a koala with a little diddly bob.
Okay, get it.
They're so
I
dumb.
mean, that's why I don't get it. It's fine.
30 seconds whenever you're ready.
Okay, so Mario is the best video game mascot because, like, saying Mario is like saying Mickey Mouse. It's the most recognizable. He is the most recognizable video game mascot. I don't think there's any debate over that. He's also the reason why almost everyone bought a Nintendo in the beginning because, like he just argued, you kicked it off with Mario. There's so many versions of Mario that exist, so many different video games, everything from Mario Kart to Mario Tennis. He's got you in the sport world, he's got you in the RPG world.
God, Mario Tennis is super fun.
It's
It
fucking
was.
awesome.
It was
Now I
great.
want to play. Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to play it right now.
God damn it.
Mario Soccer was not that good, though.
There was a
They got
Mario
that.
soccer game.
Mario was definitely the most recognizable and famous like video game mascot up until Pikachu. Pikachu took that shit over. Pikachu is fucking adorable. It's the most marketable video game character ever. There's been fucking movies based off of Pikachu, and just the amount of merchandising with Pikachu's face. People hear the name Pokemon, they instantly think Pikachu. Pikachu is fucking everywhere. Pikachu somehow became the face of, like, not only a game, but a company, an entire fucking culture. Pikachu is fucking everywhere. Pikachu...
Time.
So same exact argument for Mario here. They made movies off of that. They made movies off of Mario. We've seen that. I think in general, Mario... well, they're both friendly to children, but in general, Mario has made more money than the other mascot. He's been around longer. He's the OG. He's the OG mascot of all video games.
It's definitely a fact check thing, but I would almost think that at this point, Pokemon has made more money than any Mario fucking property. And it's based off of the successfulness in the marketing of Pikachu as a fucking character.
I
and
don't
as
even
a
know
mascot.
how we would fact check that, to be honest, dude.
But, like, Pikachu is just the fucking adorable epitome of stuff.
I was letting you finish your thoughts, and she got interrupted.
Yeah.
But time.
No, that's cool. I had nothing more to say other than he's the adorable epitome of stuff.
Animals.
And as showrunner, I'm saying fact checks go out the window in
Speedrun?
In Speedrun.
Oh, fuck, I'm
gonna
gonna start
make
making
shit
up
up.
all kinds of shit.
I mean,
Y'all ever seen Pikachu's dick? Damn!
just because the fact checker's always on the clock, like, don't try and, like, bullshit, like, bluff your way through it. Like, try and keep it within, like...
Believability.
But, like, if you say something that isn't completely accurate, then the fact checker's on the timer. We're not going to bog it down.
I mean, I will say, as a fact check. No.
But that's not, like, a complete...
Yeah,
Like-
no, I feel you.
But no, as a fact, Pikachu is adorable though. Nobody can deny
That
that.
is a
Nobody
objective
can deny
fact.
that. He is. I'd love to have that more than my own cat.
You don't think Mario's adorable?
No, he's like a Italian plumber.
Okay, you're biasing. We stop.
I'm gonna give the point to Chris just because.
Because Corey biased.
Really? I don't think that was.
Dude,
God.
was a
I don't
super
think
tough
that was
round.
the.
No,
the shocking-
I'm glad I said Pikachu because my first thought was Sonic,
From now
and then I
on
thought
until
that
he
stupid
says
Sonic.
one of them wins, you're all
It's like, I don't even want to deal with it.
God, I'm so mad they're making that.
Still,
I
I
wanted...
really feel like that. Was
You wanted that bad Sonic? I wanted that bad Sonic.
This is the Sonic the world deserves. It's the first
I mean,
version.
meow?
What's the score now?
4 to 3.
4-3.
Chris in the lead.
Okay.
Close.
4-3.
I'm sorry about that other one, like swaying it that way.
I don't know what you're talking
No,
Yeah,
it
you
wasn't
broke it.
Swan. It was
I
already.
didn't think.
No,
So.
It was
you
actually
broke
gonna
it.
be him until like.
Pikachu is adorable.
He is,
Like-
but that's not the. What?
Only
game with the
Nintendo can
best-
make a mustachioed middle-aged man cute. That's it.
game with the best soundtrack.
Grand
Ocarina
Theft
of Time?
He got it first.
Castle fucking Vania.
Sonic 3.
Doom.
It's Michael Jackson.
The new Doom.
Oh, okay.
I think
This
this
I'll
Trent
play you the
Reznor?
entire
Is that what he's
Castlevania
on the-
soundtrack.
'Cause I know the
on piano
original
right
Doom-
now.
Holy shit.
That's what on the shotgun shells in the original Doom it said NIN because Trent Reznor did like the sound and music stuff for it.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's binder in high school said Nin Bud. So I don't understand how the two ever correlated, but
I'm sorry, it said what?
Nin
Nin.
Bud,
Nan.
I don't know what that is.
9 Inch
Nine
Nails,
Inch
and
Nails.
Budweiser.
Oh.
9 Inch Nails, bud. What's up?
And you said, when was this?
High school?
No.
You in the
High school for you is different than high school
Oh,
for
no,
me.
I thought it was what you are the other day.
Okay. Well, high school.
And middle school.
Middle school, we still had.
Yeah, I was trying to
I
get
saw
that
that.
behind
I saw that
because
shit
my
in
fucking tooth
7th
is fucked
grade
up, yeah.
up to 10th grade when I dropped out.
A lot of people.
Anyway,
Anyway, continue with the show. I'm sorry.
30 seconds whenever you're ready, Chris.
Ocarina of Time not only has the best video game soundtrack, a majority of the game, plot-wise and gameplay, is focused on music and the effect the music has on the world. It's super recognizable music. they're fucking super well orchestrated fucking pieces, and there's not a single fucking person that wouldn't recognize a piece of music from that game in this room right now. It's so iconic. I feel like the music from that game might be more iconic than the characters of that game. It's so well fucking done. It's just fucking...
One of the actual amazing features about Grand Theft Auto is the fact that all the different music stations that you could play. You could hop in a car, you could change stations. It even had a feature for you to like play different music. I mean, you could flip through stations, but you could set your music to what was playing. Music was a really huge part of the game, of a game that had so much going on for it. I know people that played Grand Theft Auto just to listen to the different soundtracks of the different cars. They would jump out of a car and steal another car just to get a better soundtrack in there. That's how important music was to Grand Theft Auto and how wide the span was of the different genres.
You didn't specify which Grand Theft Auto game. I personally think the quality of music varies from game to game, and I would also say that like the soundtrack to one of the fucking the purple Grand Theft Auto games is better. But like I said, Zelda Ocarina of Time, the music is so iconic. Which fucking Saints Row. Saints Row.
Purple GTA.
Oh. But Saints Row fucking.
Purple GTA.
I was kind of confused by that, but now I get it.
But no, Saints Row fucking had that fucking.
They had Death Clock on there.
You had the dose up gun?
No, they had that. They had the Matt Decent radio hosted by Riff Raff. That shit slapped, dude.
So the music in GTA, it was also such an important part of the video game that it started to become marketable, as in like soundtracks and downloads, and you began to wonder with the new GTA games what songs were going to be on it. That's how important the music was. They were marketing that thing like the soundtrack of a movie.
I just want to listen to Riff Raff now. I don't even give a fuck if I get the point or not.
Was that the start of the time? Was that your argument?
Yeah. I'm gonna give the point to Chris just because, like you said, like Ocarina of Time soundtrack is like so noticeable.
It's about an ocarina.
It was good though. Like I wanted to play an ocarina. God, that Ska Network. He did that one.
I would not
that's
be
my
able
favorite
to
piece of music from that
recognize any. I've played one Zelda game,
Oh,
and it's The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, same.
I like this one too, actually.
I want to play the new.
Yeah, but the Hyrule theme from Legend of Zelda runs throughout all of it.
So I want to point out something related. So I played San Andreas on PC. And on PC, there were ways of doing this on some consoles at the time, but it was a little more convoluted. On PC, it was real easy. You could take your MP3s, drop them into a fucking folder, and then listen to your own music in the car. So I was like listening to like Racer X.
That's fucking awesome.
Like,
See, I could've
No, you could do it on Xbox.
I feel like if you had made that argument though, it wouldn't really matter because like
It's not
anybody
included,
can put their music in a game and think it's the best music.
You could put it on.
But it's a cool feature.
When they ported it to Xbox instead of PlayStation, you could do the same damn
Thank you,
thing.
Colin.
Like anything that you had, because you could download
Like
all
on
of your
your
MP3s
Xbox, right.
on your Xbox. You could have any fucking station, any song you wanted, and listen to that.
You've really only played one Zelda game?
It was
was
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
It was
The
good.
original.
Brittany Linkus, who was, did I say that wrong? Probably.
No, it's Linkus.
She said extra points for the singing. Didn't the NES launch solely with Mario Brothers / Duck Hunt?
I almost went with Duck Hunt for that, but I was like, I can't talk about that.
I went with
45 seconds.
like for the NES game, I went with Excite Bike actually, just because.
The first thing to pop in my
No,
head.
Just because
I sample Excite
it
Bike
was
a lot.
it was one of the
I thought it was
first games. Period. It was great. It was really fun, but it had the customizable stage. Like you could actually build your own track in there. That was the first thing that you could ever do that in.
See, I'm way more familiar with like Super Nintendo and like Genesis, really.
See, I think like
So it's like,
the-
fuck, what games came out on
the
fucking
first thing-
Nintendo?
But like Excite Bike, it was like you can build your own fucking track. Like this is crazy.
Well,
back then.
like when like I heard best NES game, the first thing that popped in my head was Paperboy. It was iconic, but it's not the best. It really isn't the best.
It's
but
really not. It's
here's
fun.
the thing,
Had it been 64 though, I might have argued Paper because I fucking love that game.
right?
Paperboy
But
64
see,
is
on
shit.
NES, like I think an argument could be made. I don't know if this is necessarily what I
Given
what I
64,
go with,
this answer is still.
but
awkward
like
time.
in a time where you had games that could barely like hold any sort of like continuous like why am I even doing this together, like you still had the early Final Fantasy games that were like fully fleshed
Son of a
out
bitch!
like stories.
Fucking Final Fantasy 3 was Super Nintendo, pretty sure. Fuck, but like yeah, totally could have gone with a Final Fantasy game for that.
It's almost like mind blowing how many NES games there were to choose when he said
There were
that, you know,
thousands.
like you. I'm
See, I wish the question would have been Super Nintendo because like I said, the first thing that come to mind was fucking
This
Just
isn't
Super-
the last
yeah.
Super
debate,
Mario Brothers
so
3
But, like,
was a great
put some
game.
stuff
Yeah,
in your
3 was my
pocket.
Well, no, I mean,
somewhere.
I'll go ahead and talk about it. Like, the thing I wanted to talk about, like, the reason why I wanted to do a video game debate was because I've wanted to talk about fucking Zombies Ate My Neighbors for so goddamn
I
long.
love that game too, dude. I rented that
Yeah.
shit so many fucking times. Great game. Like that was a great game, and like nothing. It was acclaimed.
There's
I
a
think.
movie I want to talk to everyone in this room about, but I'm not letting you know of its existence until I can get a point off of it.
Is it The Postman?
No, I already dropped the ball on
Serbian
that one.
film.
It was fucking. I should have went with the Postman for when me, Brian, and Kyle were in one.
The post.
What?
An awful movie.
It's not though, but it is.
It's
Yeah.
so
It's the
boring.
best bad movie.
Anyway, while
know, it's
before
not.
this devolves into some shit, Brian podcast.
Yeah. So what? Plug it again. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Yeah. The Snappy Hour is the name of my podcast. It's a local run podcast here in Huntington. We've been at it for like 3 years now, and we're a really ridiculous meme page on Facebook. So go follow the Snappy Hour for both laughs and podcast shit.
Plug kickball too, though, just to get more people in there. It's good. It's fun.
Yeah, dude. West Virginia
Joel City
Kickball.
Joel City Kickball is fucking awesome.
Joel City Kickball is something that Huntington has. It's a hidden gem. Yeah, we've got multiple players in this room. As a matter of fact, I've done that for 11 years now. So
You can say multiple. There's two.
Hey, that's
More than
multiple.
one.
It's true.
Dylan podcast.
Oh yeah, Dankhouse Podcast. Check it out. We post bi-weekly. We're on VoxBox and now we're on Spotify, so you can check that out.
I did
Checking
an
that out
episode
right now.
with them. It was fun.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, we watched Neighbors.
I've also got that, as I mentioned earlier, that Fire Ass mixtape dropping, Endless Forever and Ever. The mixtape's called Drink More, Find God. It's gonna be flames. Be looking out for that. Eventually,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Are we all plugging our shit?
So next week we have Brian judging a movie
God.
debate.
Let's see.
Forget exactly who's in that.
Yeah, I think it's me, Rainer, and Chris.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town.
Yep.
So I haven't been paying that much attention to it.
I like it.
And then the week after that, we'll have a wrestling debate again. So that'll be fucking fun.
Who's in that one?
Me if I make it back in time.
You said you would, but I mean, planes is shit.
Right.
You never know.
Luke and Matt.
What song is that?
Jim and
Tetris?
Matt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Luke.
So Matt, and Jim.
Dylan, can you?
And then all of
link into your
October we
podcast
have
in our like group message
Yeah, I can get that to you.
because I'm having a hard time finding it for some reason.
all of
It's
all
October
one
we
word.
have
It
horror
might be.
themed.
I'm not the one that
debate.
uploads this,
Uh-huh.
so it might be.
So you have that to look forward to, I guess.
It might not be on Spotify yet, because I don't know if he's uploaded it yet. So we
So
were supposed to get it on there.
bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.